Broods, locally owned for more than 30 years. GUBRUDS.
Call the good dudes at Broods, GUBRUDS, thebroods.com.
Downtown Ford Sacramento welcomes you. With literally acres of new and Ford-certified pre-owned vehicles on site, you can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. Downtown Ford Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento. Sacktown. And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
And a good afternoon, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Holden Polonies today at 4 o'clock. Marcos Breton of the Sacramento Bee right after Grant's Grant at 5 o'clock. Your phone calls, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. I'm going to once again start my show by talking about an incredible event that I watched last evening, and that was the World Baseball Classic. And I was lukewarm at the beginning of the WBC. I was like, And I became more and more interested after pool play. I thought the United States and the Dominican Republic was a great spectacle, great entertainment. And then I watched last night's game against Venezuela for the championship, and it was a spectacular sporting event. It has restored my faith in the sport of baseball, which I think has gone steadily downhill. But after watching the WBC, I'm like, wow, now I remember why baseball for such a long time was truly our national pastime. That's what I was thinking of as I was watching the game last night. And that's what I was thinking of when I was watching the game against the Dominican Republic 2 nights before. I can't even put into like words the feeling I got watching Venezuela win the championship. I mean, it was incredible. The atmosphere, first of all, you could not have had the game in a better locale than Miami, Florida, with the Dominican Republic getting to the semifinals and Venezuela in the championship game. As somebody that makes Florida as my home state and have lived in Miami for a number of years, I can tell you that the flavor of South Florida, the cosmopolitan city, the people from all over the world, particularly Latin America, South America, the Caribbean, obviously Cuba. It's remarkable to watch that game the way I did, knowing so many new friends over the last several years from the regions that I just mentioned. And the result of the game last night, I can't really talk on, and Marcos Breton will have a much better view on this than me. But in just watching the celebration and what that win meant for Venezuela and the Latin community, incredible. I don't know if you watched it. I watched it, and I watched the entire celebration. I watched the entire post-game, including the national anthem by Venezuela, where many members of the Venezuelan team were crying during the national anthem. That was an unbelievable event. And when I look at the United States, that is a failure of epic proportion. And that is not to discredit the Venezuelan team or the Dominican Republic team, but how a lineup that formidable can go that cold over a 2-game stretch, including the Dominican Republic, which, I mean, they didn't hit the ball very well. The pitching of Venezuela stymied Team USA last night. And that lineup is too good to be stymied. It just is. It just is. And that's a failure by the United States. There's no other way to say it. That is a failure. You are no longer on the top of the mountain when it comes to baseball supremacy in the world. We saw it 3 years ago with Japan, and we saw it last night with Venezuela. You don't own the mountaintop anymore. You share the mountaintop. You share it. Now, I'm not ready to say that baseball in Venezuela is better than baseball in America, but what I am saying is for right now, they've got the bragging rights, and they deserve the bragging rights, as Japan did back in 2023. That's the reality of the situation. And as baseball starts, can you believe that opening day is a week from tonight? The Yankees and the Giants in San Francisco. Am I going to go back to not really paying attention to baseball here in a couple of weeks? Probably. Just like we saw in the gold medal games in hockey A lot of people gravitated towards that, but that doesn't mean they go and watch the NHL. I do because I've always been an NHL fan, but I know a lot of people don't. Do I think that because of what we witnessed last night and in the tournament, that will bring more people to Major League Baseball? Probably not. Baseball already has their fan base. They already have their niche. I mean, I'm not so sure about that. I wish the game was played differently during the regular season of Major League Baseball because last year's World Series between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays was epic. It was as good as I've ever seen. I mean, it was that good. It was great. But what I watched last night and what I watched 2 nights prior was every single pitch. I didn't miss a pitch. I can't remember the last time that I watched 2 baseball games back to back where I didn't miss a pitch. Didn't miss a pitch. I don't think I've done that in years. I haven't. That was baseball the way the game is supposed to be played. The desire, the love for the game, the emotions, everything about it, every single at-bat being so important. That was great. And the fans in Miami, absolutely amazing. Really amazing. And as somebody that has a new appreciation for, I shouldn't say a new appreciation, a different appreciation for the culture in South Florida, and knowing so many people now from different regions of the Latin community and that city, wow. Like, that's all I can say is wow. That was a phenomenal spectacle, in my opinion. That has renewed my faith, at least for a short period of time, in the sport of baseball. I don't know about you, but for me, give me more of that. Give me more of that, because that was baseball played the way I like it played and what I want to watch when I watch baseball. And you cannot underestimate how much that meant to Venezuela. And there's something about championships in any event. We saw it in the Olympics, and you saw what it meant to both the women and men's hockey teams, the raw emotion, the singing of the national anthem with tears and great emotion, the fact that the players were genuinely thrilled for the people of the country that they represented. It was great. All right? It was great. Said, Grant, do I think that the MLB will come up with a USA versus the world for the All-Star week? Well, if they do, I think they'll get annihilated. Because if you took the best from around the world against the best from America, I think the world team would destroy the United States. If you took the best players from Japan, the best players from the Dominican, the best players from Venezuela, the best players from Italy, the best players from wherever, and you put them on one team, they would annihilate the United States, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't even think the game would be competitive. So, no, I don't think they will. I don't think you could. As good as baseball is here in this country, I'll take the world. If you took the best players in the world that are not American citizens and you put them against the United States, I don't even think the game would be close. I really don't. So do I think they'll do that? I think it would be epic, but I also think they won't do it because it'll be too embarrassing for the United States. That's the reason why I don't think they'll do it. It would be too embarrassing. You can't have the United States versus the world in baseball and have the world destroy the United States. That would be a bad look for Major League Baseball. That would be a very bad look. Said, Grant, I also watched the game, and it was a great atmosphere. That was definitely brought by the Latin American crowd, no question. Make no mistake about it. The game's in the U.S. soil, but it was a road game for the U.S. It was. It's very true. That was a road game. It was about 80-20, rooting for Venezuela. I don't disagree with that. I think you're spot on. 916-779-0929. Let's get to some phone calls right here, and why don't we begin with Mac? Mac, welcome. You'll open me up here on a Wednesday. What's going on, Mac?
How are you? I'm doing well.
Good.
You know what? I just wanted to make a comment about the American team in general. In my opinion, the American team, just watching the way that they play, is kind of what's wrong with baseball. And it's that, I'm looking, you watch the players now, and they're okay with striking out. There was a stat in the fourth inning that said, combined with yesterday's game, the Venezuela game, and the game prior, that they had 20 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's a joke.
That means that they're not even taking two-strike approaches at all. And you're still Aaron Judge. What did he's okay with two strikeouts? I mean, I hate to say
listen,
this,
I'm a Yankee fan. Aaron Judge, I have no confidence in him in a big spot. I just don't. I have no confidence in him in a big spot.
Because you know why? Because he's facing, like, in the playoffs and whatnot, you face good pitching. And sure, okay, he can hit, other guys that are just fastball heavy, but he looked lost at bat. And one other thing I hate about him is if you watch, he always dips his shoulder, which makes the barrel stay out of the zone longer, because he's trying to cheat and just tomahawk a baseball out of there. He's not like Tony Gwynn would do, take the knob through the zone, and that way the barrel stays in the zone. There's none of that type of, like, the mechanics. When I watch Team USA, it just makes me puke. And that's why, like you said, and like you and myself, I'm getting so turned off with Major League Baseball, because if you're okay with striking out.
Yeah, the ball's not in play enough. That's my biggest problem with watching baseball, and you hit it right on the head. The ball is not in play enough. They don't even, the beauty of baseball is to make the defense play defense, right? Put the ball in play and force the other team to make good defensive plays. And if not, you get an extra out. I mean, we don't even see that enough in baseball now, because the ball's not in play enough.
Well, that brings up another great point. Is how many pitchers do you see pitching to contact nowadays, like a Greg Maddux? You don't see that anymore. It's all about getting the strikeouts, and now you're pulled in the fifth, sixth inning. So you can't go deep because you were having 5-6 pitch at bats early because you wanted to get your strikeouts. One
thing I would like to see, and I don't know if this is possible or not, due to the limitations that are put on, particularly Team USA, there were no limitations put on Venezuela, and their manager even talked about that. He said, I'm not taking any phone calls from any general managers or managers in Major League Baseball. They don't even bother calling me, because I'm going to manage this team how I want. There were restrictions put on players on Team USA, because obviously we're only a couple of weeks in the spring training, and opening day is next week. I wonder what would happen if, instead of the All-Star game, you had the World Baseball Classic in July, when nothing's going on. You shut down baseball for 17 days, and you have the World Baseball Classic, and you do it that way, where you can now maximize the players more. You can have, I think, even a better overall product than what we just saw. I wonder if that would work.
I agree, because guys like Logan Webb could go, who pitch to contact, and you could see him go 8 innings.
Yep.
And that would be much more exciting. And it'd be much more exciting than what they have as the current All-Star game, because all All-Star games except hockey are a joke.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
absolutely.
That's all I had to say. I hope you have a great day. Take it easy.
Yeah, and by the way, real quickly, you could have the Team USA, and I don't know how you do it for the other countries, although it wouldn't matter for the other countries, because they would be able to fill their roster with their players. But the Team USA team in the middle of the summer would just be the All-Star team. So, like, you would have your all-stars, and that would make up Team USA for the World Baseball Classic.
Well, and probably reduce some of the teams. Like, you don't need I don't know, like, as an Italian American, I'm happy that there's Team Italy, but they're not all Italian. There's 2 Italians on the team.
Yeah.
So
that's
that
a good
could
point.
also make it.
It's a good point.
That could make it the time off. You
That's a
wouldn't
good
need
point.
17 days. Maybe you only need a week if you eliminated some of those teams. So
yeah,
anyway,
you know what? That's a really good point. I don't know how you would do that, but you make a really, really good point. I didn't even think about that, but I think that's. I just wonder how it would work. That's what I'm saying. I wonder how that would work if you did it in the middle of the summer instead of during March before the season.
Double headers. You'd have to. You might. Well, they used to do that back in the day, scheduled double headers, but I don't know if the union would go for it.
Yeah, probably not.
But that's another way. Anyway, take it easy, Grant. You have a good day.
Good call.
Hey, Nate.
Yes.
We've got the text line saying that Mac needs to get a Bennett's gift card for that call.
Well, Mac, if you call back, Mac, Ryan will take care of you. All right. So there you go, Mac. We'll get you a Bennett's gift card because that was a phenomenal call and a great way to start off the show. Speaking of a great thing to do, the weather tomorrow is supposed to be almost 90 degrees here in the Valley. And is your air conditioning working well? I'm sure you've already had it on. Or it's like, you know what? DAS Mechanical can tune it up for you. Make sure that you are good to go for what may be a scorching summer. I got to believe it's going to be based on how mild last summer was. Are you ready for the heat? Are you ready? Are you confident that you're not going to have any issues? DAS Mechanical will take care of you. HVAC specialist. All right. They are. They're service specialists. They can install new systems. They do it all. And something else that DAS Mechanical is doing that I've been talking about here for the last couple of weeks, they are donating a heating or air conditioning system to a family in need, a veteran, and all you need to do is go to dasmechanical.org, click on the 2026 HVAC donation form, fill it out, nominate yourself or someone you know, a veteran, and DAS Mechanical will give away a heating or air conditioning unit and install it. You'll be good to go. That's dasmechanical.org. And remember, if you need service, if you are not sure about what's going on, you're like, oh, am I ready for this heat? Yeah, they're perfect for you. They'll come out and they'll take care of you. dasmechanical.org. Family owned, locally owned, serving Sacramento and Placer counties. 916-779-0929. When we come back, we'll talk about that debacle that was at Golden One Center last night. Kings and Philly tomorrow. This season can't end soon enough. The question is, what's the Kings' record going to be? Are they going to blow this thing with a couple of weeks left? And instead of having the first, second, third, or fourth pick, have the sixth or seventh pick? That would be a disaster. We'll talk about that next here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
This weekend, Hot Wheels Monster Trucks is live at Cal Expo, but this Thursday, you can see the all-new Rhino Mike in person at Elk Grove Chevrolet. It's free to the public, plus win tickets and other official swag, too. Come see Rhino Mike this Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. at Elk Grove Chevrolet at the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
Just outside of Sacramento is a place where families build friendships that last a lifetime. The Golden State Shooting Center is a clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous local high school and youth sport shooting teams. Skeet and trap shooting is a safe, exhilarating sport. School team members can compete for numerous college scholarship opportunities. Teams are being formed now, and new members are welcome. Call the Golden State Shooting Center for details or visit them online at goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number.
800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. That's 800-941-4184.
Are you or do you know a veteran or a family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? If so, go now to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or someone you know to receive one with installation being donated by our neighbors at DAS Mechanical. We all know this past year has been tough for some in our community. Nick Delancey and his DAS family want to give back, and they're excited to give back, just like this, to help out a veteran or family in need. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. That's dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out the short form. DAS Mechanical, family owned and proudly serving our community for years. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
I'm retired and worried about the cost of food, medicine, and rent. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Best of all, it's free. Visit Benefits.
Last night, and once we got your audio working just fine.
Yeah.
You said you were so impressed with San Antonio. I mean, like sometimes you get a little bit of a different perspective watching in person, but you really you're on board with them, aren't you?
100%. Victor Wembanyama, that team, the size that they have at almost every position, the way they play the basketball game, how unselfish they are, both sides of the court. To me, they are now the favorite in the Western Conference, seeing them in person.
All right, we'll get your thoughts on that. We got some phone calls coming in, and we'll get to those in just a moment. Then we'll get back to your comments on the game last night. That game was over 3 minutes in. At the first time out of the first quarter, the game was over. It was over. The game was over. First time out of the first quarter, the game was already over. It was men against boys. And I understand that you would expect the Spurs to win the game. Okay, I get that. Even though they played the night before, they're a much better team. They got much better talent. They're relatively healthy. Well, they are healthy. So I get that. They should have won the game. But, I mean, unbelievable that the Kings were that uncompetitive that they were not ever in the game. Not ever in the game. At all. The game was over. The first time out of the first quarter, the game was over. Over. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Let's get to Los Angeles and Tay. Tay, I hope you're surviving the hot heat wave down there. What's going on, buddy?
Grant and Ryan, thank you for taking my call. It's very warm down here, so I'm trying to keep cool. How are you doing this afternoon, Grant?
Well, amen.
Yeah. So I actually went to the Clippers and Spurs game at Intuit Dome on Monday, living in LA. I wanted the chance to see Victor Wembanyama in person, and just to echo Ryan's comments, I could not believe what I was seeing. The depth that this team has. I mean, they have Castle, Fox, Champagny, Vassell, Johnson. The list goes on and on. They're just so deep, and I feel like Wembanyama is a terror on the defensive end more so than on the offensive end. Just people just don't get shots up around the rim around him. And growing up as a kid, I was terrorized by Popovich and Duncan for nearly a decade, and I feel like they're gonna terrorize the Western Conference for years. And just my favorite memory, I know the Kings weren't really impacted by the Spurs per se because we never really faced them in the playoffs, except for that one time in 2005. I don't know if you remember, Grant, the Kevin Martin's game winner over Tim Duncan in Game 3.
Of course I remember. I announced the game.
2005 first. Yeah, I remember you and Jerry. That was that was my favorite childhood memory. And we almost beat that team. Bonzi Wells was playing, really well, and they had Mike Bibby, so that's my favorite memory with the Spurs. But they terrorized my childhood, in the Western Conference, and I just feel like we're seeing a reincarnation of that. That was just my take. The Spurs are for real.
Let me ask you two questions, if you don't mind. If I'm just curious, because I have not been to that arena. How is that arena? It's new, obviously. What's your impression of the arena, and how expensive is it for a ticket to go to a game? I know that it depends on where you're sitting in the arena, but is it a very expensive ticket to go watch the Clippers play now in that new arena?
I think it's actually very affordable. Obviously, a lot cheaper than the Lakers tickets. And, I buy tickets through StubHub. Obviously, it's a resale. And, just subjectively, I think it's very affordable. I think it's even cheaper than the Kings tickets for that matter. And the arena itself is new. So the way the arena is set up, even though it might be only 50 or 60% full, just the architecture of it kind of makes it a very vibrant place. And the wall is for real, although I think at times they kind of go, overboard with the wall, asking away team fans to take off their jerseys because they're the sacred Clippers. I don't necessarily agree with that, but just the architecture and the way that the seats are set up makes it a very vibrant atmosphere. I was there for their first playoff game against Denver last year, Game 3. And, even though I'm not a Clippers fan per se, it was just a great arena experience. If you're a Clippers fan, watching a playoff game there. And the atmosphere on Monday was great as well. With Wemby coming in, I think many of the fans just came out to see him as well. I think it's a great arena, almost as good as Golden One Center, I would say.
Hey, Tay, thank you. I always appreciate your call. You take care.
Take care, Grant. Bye.
Yep. So, Rhino, I made a comment last night on the postgame show, and I think when you look at the Sacramento Kings and their situation, and I look at Oklahoma City's roster, and I look at their draft capital and their assets, and I look at San Antonio's roster, and I look at their youth, and I look at their draft capital, I look at all of their assets. Barring injury, the Kings are light years away from being either the Oklahoma City Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs. And I'll even go a step further. And again, I understand Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has been in the league a while.
Yeah.
But if those two teams were to stay relatively healthy, I'm just going to keep the Thunder at 5 years. And if Victor Wembanyama were to stay healthy and stay with that team, I'm going to put it at 10 years. I think that there are no other teams in the West, without even knowing what the draft may look like or what trades may look like, are going to be able to contend with those two teams. I just don't see it.
Well, there's no player in this draft that can contend with Wemby. That's the first thing that you look at.
There's no player on the planet that's coming up that can contend with Wemby.
Yeah, look, for as frustrating as this product has been, and OP backed me up on this about a lot of this load management, especially taking it easy in the All-Star game. You pin some of that on LeBron. He made that okay. He was the leader of that generation. And Wemby is definitely the leader of the Spurs, and he wants to be the leader of this next generation of the NBA. He ain't for that. He's there to play hoops. And last night was so interesting because the Kings could only get what the Spurs would give them. Now, they let Max get warm from the outside. Max made some really good plays, had a career night all together. He's played with Wemby. He knows Wemby very well. But to see the Spurs just suffocate the Kings, and it was an endless assault, no matter who was on the court. Wemby only played 22 minutes. Here was DC's comments on Wemby, and I completely agree with him here.
He is so we talk about his skill level, but I don't really think that that's the thing that makes him special. I think his competitiveness is really the thing. He really wants to be good. So that means that he pushes everybody else to do the right thing. That's where the money's at. The skill is, he's just skilled. So a big guy like that, we've seen not that size, but we've seen guys who can make shots who are big. We've seen guys who can put it on the floor that are big. Now, his ability to play above the rim and different things, but I think his competitiveness is probably the thing that's going to carry the day there.
And I just want to add this.
I want to get into that a little more.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you agree with that? See, to me, when I look at Wemby, I look at his skill set first and foremost, and I look at his body. And so, that's what makes him great.
See,
that's what makes him
that's
great.
where that is true. But when you have that skill set and that body, you could just roll out of bed and have a very successful Hall of Fame career for 10, 15 years. He doesn't seem content with that. The guy is a hard worker and pushes himself, pushes the team. And he pushes the other players that are considered the up-and-comers, the royalty of the NBA. He's pushing them as well. And the cool thing about both the teams that we're talking about, the Thunder and the Spurs, is there is not a selfish bone in either of those buildings. And that's what can make very special basketball when you have stars of that caliber that are just as happy to see their teammates get theirs.
That's 100% correct. I do not disagree with that at all. 916-779-0929. So you think the Spurs are clearly the team to beat in the West, yes?
Yes. Grant,
and the fact they beat Oklahoma City 4 out of 5 times, Ryan, we got to point that out.
Absolutely. I've seen Shaq, and to the texter's point, saying that I felt the same way that they felt when they saw Shaq and Kobe for the first time.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to see Jordan, those guys. This was on that level, seeing him last night. It really was. And please know, I don't usually over exaggerate.
No, you don't.
This guy, he's the real deal if he can stay healthy. And they have put the right combinations around him. And whether you like it or not, that Fox is no longer in Sacramento, he has found the absolute perfect role and perfect spot for him.
Yeah. Said SGA and Wemby may be the next Brady Manning type. Good analogy. They could very well. They're going to dominate if they stay. Well, SGA is already dominating, and Wemby is. The thing that scares me about Wemby, and when I say scares me, I'm talking about from another team's perspective, if you ever hope of winning a championship, he's still a puppy.
Yes.
He's a puppy.
Yeah.
And if he stays healthy, I mean, there's no team in the league that's going to be able to beat the Spurs. Nobody.
I have never, and we haven't said this name yet, I have never seen a second-year player command the court at the point guard position like Steph Castle. Not only is he bigger than most point guards, his game is so composed. He can just do a little bit of everything. Jerry agreed with me. I said it last night. If he stays healthy, he is going to be a Hall of Famer as well. There's a reason. I saw the reason the Spurs would not part with Steph Castle last night.
Yeah. And you look at the Kings trade that they made a year ago, sending Fox to the Spurs, and you look at all of their good players, and what did they get back in return? Nothing. They went and got Zach LaVine from Chicago.
Nick Clifford they got in return because those 2 picks got flipped to a first.
Okay.
But so you can tie that.
Didn't, okay. But they didn't get Nick Clifford. They managed their roster and their draft capital to get Nick. But okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But it's a perfect point. And we've said it many times, you put De'Aaron Fox on a silver tray for a player that doesn't come from the Spurs and a player that there was not a big market for.
Okay, are you? Have you announced your retirement yet because of your nightly prize picks? Are you now or have you started to looking at private jets and your own personal chauffeurs to, once you get your passport, you'll be able to go places? I mean, I'm just wondering, are you to that level yet? Because I haven't seen you lose yet. That's why I'm asking.
Grant, it's been really hard because my phone won't stop ringing. They just keep blowing me up. Do you want to become a NetJets member? No, not really. Got financial advisors asking me, Vegas, what's up on tonight's picks?
Can I interrupt you for a second? You know what is different about you? A lot of people promote things like you're doing right now, and they talk about, get rich and you're going to be great. You know what? No. You are making your picks, and then you're putting them up for everyone to see every night, and your results are not fabricated. They're not, hey, look at me. No, they're the real deal. I've been doing radio shows for a long time. I've been in this business for a long time, and what you're doing on a daily basis with prize picks and your expertise blows me away. Like I'm not kidding you. It blows me away. I'm telling everyone right now, I'm not making this up. Rhinos, this is not fabricated. This guy is killing it. Sorry, go ahead.
Grant, I appreciate it. And I want all of you to come kill it with me on Prize Picks. Super simple. All you got to do is pick 2 to 6 players on their stat projections. Choose more or less. That's it. That's what you do. And it doesn't just have to be basketball. They've got their Max March Madness deals going on. You've got tournament games all weekend. Go check those out. Over 100 different sports that you can combine together on stat projections. And you can join my community like me. You can post your picks, share your picks with your friends. So come get on the action with me. Go to Prize Picks, download the app, whether it's Google Play, Apple Store, and use the promo code RYNO50, RYNO50, to get $50 in free play. After you play your first $5, you don't have to win. Just play your first $5. You will get $50 in free play. Tonight, Grant, we are going big. We're going with a 6-way tonight. We're going Derek White, more than 3.5 assists. Jason Tatum, more than 1.5 3-pointers made. Peyton Pritchard, more than 3.5 assists. We're going to go Danny Wolf, only needs to hit 1 3-pointer. And then Luka, we're going to go more than 2.5 threes made and more than 24.5 points. So we are doing the full 6 picks. We'll keep you updated on them. Sign up now. Use Rhino50, do those picks, and come get paid with me on America's #1 daily fantasy site, Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
And make sure you put Rhino50 there as the code, all right? Because this guy does deserve the credit. I don't normally prop up with someone like this, but this guy deserves to be on a throne. I will tell you
appreciate that,
right
brother.
now. Well, you know what? It's the truth. It's not about, you don't have to appreciate me. I'm only talking the truth, all right? Like, I'm just being honest. I'm talking the truth. And with that said, we'll come back. Don't forget Olden Polonese at 4 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We all want to look and feel our best. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to live your best life every day. There are simple, practical, and inexpensive changes that you can make in your life today that will elevate your life in so many incredible ways. If it feels like it's time to hit that reset button and start living your best life now, Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we age, things change. We might start to experience lower energy, changes in mood, brain fog, or just a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center, located in Midtown.
Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabroods. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Call Gabroods or visit Gabroods.com. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
It's the All Things Legal Show, heard every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Join your host, Craig Ashton, with an entertaining and eclectic view of all things legal. Saturday mornings from 8 to 9. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
This is Kurt Bagelman. Does your business need more customers? If you said no, congratulations. If you said yes, then you need to consider advertising your products and services. People need to know you exist, and then why your business is worth considering to spend their money with. You also need to advertise to the right audience. For example, sports talk listeners have disposable income. They own homes, they're employed, and they earn six-figure incomes. And importantly, sports talk listeners listen longer, so your advertising message has more opportunity to be heard. Does your business need more customers? If the answer is yes, then give me a call to schedule a conversation. We'll discuss your objectives, talk about potential strategies, and also determine if Fox Sports Radio is a good station for you to consider. Call me, 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's real.
Player, you're not a Hall of Famer. You, sir or ma'am, are delusional with a capital D. He has been in the NBA Finals before with Oklahoma City. He has been in, I believe, 4 Western Conference Finals. He has very good numbers in the playoffs. No, he does not have a ring like you would want, but either does Charles Barkley. Is he a Hall of Famer? There are a lot of other players that haven't won a championship that are in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how you can make a comment like that. You're out of touch with reality. I mean, you can say that you're not a fan of his, and I'm okay with that. You don't have to be a fan of his. But to think that he's not a Hall of Famer, you're watching a different Russell Westbrook and a different sport than I am. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's not even going to be a topic of debate or discussion. It will be unanimous. Well, I don't even know how that is voted on, but he will be a sure, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, first ballot Hall of Famer. You got to be kidding me. I mean, stop it already with that nonsense. Come on. Wow. All right, let's get to some phone calls at 916-779-0929. And we get to Big Al. What's going on, Big Al?
Blessings to you, Mr. Napier. As I hope you are very cool and refreshed compared to driving around. I'm driving around with my windows down, trying to, toughen myself up a little bit. It's pretty good. Anyway, you are a New York Giants fan, are you not, Grant?
I am.
Yeah. But you know the area. So I found this funny. I was watching all the NFL draft stuff, and I realized, so the Jets have the 16th pick. Do you know the other I'm sure you know one for sure. Do you know the other two quarterbacks that they picked at number 16 in their draft?
You're talking about the Jets?
Sir.
No, off the top of my head, I don't. Who are the other two picks at number 16?
I don't, but Joe Namath came to them at number 16.
Okay, out of Alabama. Yep.
And then Richard Todd.
Oh, Richard Todd, okay. Who had a really good career in New York.
I know. I would have lost so much money if anybody that thought, are you kidding me? So it's funny. So then they were just trying to link it together, say, oh, here's the third 16. And of course, some analysts are saying, oh, they might want to take Simpson out of Alabama again. Although the good, smart money or the Grant Napier and Allen money would say, hey, I don't think you do that. Why do you do that? I mean, they are well provisioned for next year with their 3 first-round picks, really high-quality quarterback.
Yeah, next year is a good-looking. Yeah, next year is a good draft for quarterbacks. At least it appears that way, no doubt about it.
And they have so much other than you do. It's funny.
Well, yeah, the Jets are such a messed-up organization. I don't even know if it matters with how bad they are. Woody Johnson's just a horrible owner.
You're right.
Al, you're breaking up on me a little bit. Thanks very much for the call. You have a good afternoon. Ryan, can you believe that we actually have a listener or a viewer, depending on what format they're on, thinking that Russell Westbrook is not a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching what he's done this year and you feel like he's padding his stats.
He's 37 years old.
I know. I'm just saying, if you have a small sample size and a narrow opinion on somebody.
Well, first of all, the Kings are allowing him to pad his stats. So let's first of all put that out there. The Kings are allowing him and giving him a no leash at all. They're allowing him to do whatever he wants. They're putting him on the court for an ungodly amount of minutes on most nights. And there's no coaching with Russell Westbrook. So I put that more on the Kings than Russ.
It was actually funny. Last night, Max was asked about Doug and the intricacies of Max's inside game and how it's continuing to build. Here's what Max had to say.
Russ tells you to do.
Start that over.
No, just do whatever Russ tells you to do. Whatever he says, you do it. And yeah, it works just fine. So that's what it is. But no, I mean, I think there's screening angles, understanding who you're screening for. If you're screening for a non-shooter, you want to go a little lower, more angle toward the basket. If you're screening for a shooter, you want to be a little bit higher, force the guy to really, go all the way over. When you open up, you want to open up to the ball. You don't want to ream roll every single time. I mean, you can switch it up, but just a little bit of it. Understand where they like to pass you the ball. If it's in the pocket, you kind of want to have 2-3 hard step, kind of wait there. If it's more of a right away pass, like Doug McDermott, amazing shooter, he either have the shot or he's gonna hit you right away. So understanding that timing a little bit, and then once you catch the ball in the pocket, from there, you just let it fly, hope it goes in, pray a little bit, works out.
Pray a little bit. There you go. Max Reynaud after the game last night. 916-779-0929. Don't forget, Olden Polynice is going to be coming on in about 10 minutes. And then after Grant's rant at 5 o'clock, Marcos Breton. We're going to talk some baseball, some WBC. Just a phenomenal event last night. And really a phenomenal tournament. Incredible. Let's get to Carmichael and say hello to Mark. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Grant?
I'm good, Mark.
Hey, I wanted to ask you,
How do you think Doug Christie would have done coaching the Warriors in their heyday?
I really don't know. I've never thought about that, and I don't deal with hypotheticals, so I really don't know.
Well, okay. The other way is, how do you think Steve Kerr would do coaching the Kings right now?
I think they'd have a lot more structure. I think that the rotations would make a lot more sense. I think that there would be better evaluation of the players on the bench. I think that his substitution pattern would be much better. I think his in-game adjustments would be a lot better. So I think the team would be much better coached.
I just think you're putting way too much on coaching.
Well, if I'm putting way too much on coaching, why do some of the coaches make over $10 million a year?
Well, I mean, they do, but Steve Kerr jumped into a perfect situation, and look what it made him look like a genius. When I think if Doug Christie would have jumped into that same spot, he would look the same. You couldn't lose with that team.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you this question. Okay, if Steve Kerr were fired today, he would have various opportunities in a very short period of time with coaching vacancies to take the job of his choice. If Doug Christie were fired today, he wouldn't get another opportunity to coach any team in the NBA. He wouldn't get one call. He wouldn't have one interview.
Well, Steve Kerr has far more experience coaching than Doug.
Well, again, I'm only speaking facts and truth. You're making up stuff.
Who was a better player, Steve Kerr or Doug Christie?
You're kidding me with that question, right? You're not serious with that. Let me ask you a question. Who was a better player, Magic Johnson or Jeff Van Gundy? Jeff Van Gundy
Probably
never even played. Your question is stupid.
Christie.
It's stupid. Your question is stupid. First of all, Steve Kerr had an outstanding career as an NBA player. Outstanding career.
So did Doug.
So what? So did Bill Russell. How did he do when he coached the Kings?
I just don't see why you don't think Doug could be a good coach. I think anybody would have lost this year.
I never said, whoa, stop. I've never said he couldn't be a good coach. I've only said he's not a good coach. I've never said he couldn't be a good coach. I've only said he's not a good coach. And in my opinion, I don't think he is an NBA head coach right now. And I don't think he's qualified to be an NBA coach. I've never once said I don't think he could ever be a good coach. Never said that.
So it was a mistake getting rid of the previous coach?
This organization is all about mistakes. Everything they do is a mistake.
Well, you got me there, Grant.
On that note, you have a good afternoon. All right, thanks for the call.
You too.
All right. Oh man. Wow. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I don't know what else to say. Who was a better player? What does that have to do with anything? Who's a better player?
I mean, I think there's a debate there.
On what?
You look at who Steve Kerr played with and the fact that he won championships.
Yeah, no, but I mean but where are you going with that? Who cares?
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you.
It's not relevant to the conversation at hand, which is coaching. It doesn't matter who is a better player. It's stupid. Ridiculous. Oh, my gosh. Eric Spoelstra's a pretty good coach, isn't he? I mean, I don't even know what else to say. Other than Olden Polynice. He's coming up next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Welcome to Par 18 Golf, Northern California's premier TrackMan Golf Performance Center. If you love the game of golf, you're going to love Par 18 Golf. Par 18 Golf is where serious golfers go to elevate their game to an entirely new level. Par 18 Golf features Ultratech TrackMan practice bays. These are the very same golf simulator systems that PGA players use to perfect their game. TrackMan systems use Doppler radar and high-speed cameras that give you instant feedback on your swing. It analyzes distance, ball spin, face angle, and club path. It's how the world's very best players train, open for both private and group events, with memberships, leagues, and coaching available. It's for serious golfers who demand more from their game. Located inside the historic Nimbus Winery in Rancho Cordova. Open every day by reservation, rain or shine, day or night. Visit par18golf.com today and experience the future of golf performance.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
I love this time of the week. Wednesdays at 4 o'clock, we talk to former Sacramento King, former NBA vet, Fox Sports NBA analyst as well, Olden Polynice. How are you, OP? Good afternoon.
I am great, Grant. And yourself?
I am doing well. Victor Wembanyama was just in your neck of the woods 2 nights ago against the Clippers, and Kings fans that went to the game last night saw him in person, and there were a lot of oohs and ahs in the crowd and a lot of, obviously, big-time statements after the game. And I was talking about this with Ryan a couple of moments ago before he spoke with you on the phone before you came on the air. What's scary me about Victor Wembanyama, he's still a puppy. Like, and if he stays healthy, we're not even talking about a guy that's close to his prime yet.
Oh, he's not even close. I mean, it's crazy seeing this because you're watching some of the things he's done in like 3 years. It's amazing. And that's one of the things I've talked about in regards to the Spurs as a group. They are exceeding expectations early.
Yep.
And so has he. And they haven't even scratched the surface, as far as like knowing how to play. I say that all the time. When they learn and figure out this game of basketball, the way it's supposed to be played and how it's done on a regular basis, it's a scary sight. and he will rewrite the record books. I believe he will. You know, especially with his shot blocking. He's way ahead of Akeem Olajuwon and those guys at the same, you know, point in their careers. So it's going to be fun watching this, you know, in the next couple of years. And I believe in about 5 years, he'll be unstoppable.
You know, shot blocking is not talked enough about in the NBA. We don't really discuss it that much. And I know that when you go back to previous eras of the NBA, you know, Bill Russell was a phenomenal shot blocker, but one thing he was able to do was block the shot and also gain possession of the ball, not swat it out of bounds 10 rows into the stands. What about the art of shot blocking, and not only blocking the shot, but blocking it so your team can get the possession?
Oh, definitely. And you mentioned Bill Russell. I mean, that's the greatest shot blocker there is, to the point of what you said. He kept it in play.
Yeah.
You know, he was not trying to make, you know, network television, you know, highlights. And so to me, that was the thing. That's the key. It's like you throw it out of bounds, you yell and you scream, but the team retains possession. It's like, and so, but Victor is at that level. I think he's done that a couple of times where, you know, he blocks it and holds on to it. And the one where he was standing flat-footed, he just blocked it against the backboard. So he's at least, you know, showing some signs of Bill Russell. But the thing is, it's almost, his shot blocking is a combination of Bill Russell, Akeem Olajuwon, Dikembe Mutombo. It's all those guys. Wow. It's all in one person right now.
That's unbelievable.
You know, he can go outside. He can block you from out in the perimeter. It's insane. I was a bit skeptical of him because I had said, you know, like, hey, I've seen this movie before, because I had seen tall guys that could do stuff like that, you know, including Ralph Sampson.
Yeah.
And then we had seen Bol and some other guys. But this guy, and I ate my words, because this guy is nothing like those dudes. I mean, he's insane. He is insane.
Yeah, you know, you played. We always talk about great players, and you played with a lot of really, really, really good players. Is there one player in particular that you would say is the best player you've ever played with?
Oh, man. I mean, the one that sticks out to me, only because of the simplicity of the game and how he made it simple, is John Stockton. It was just a pleasure to play, you know, to be on the same court, to be in the same locker room with this guy. He just made the game so easy to play. And he doesn't get enough credit for his greatness. And so to me, that's the one. And again, you're right. I've played with so many of these guys and against so many, but Stockton made the game super, super easy for you. He kept it simple. You know, we say it all the time, you know, kids, keep it simple, stupid. And he kept it simple.
You know what else I love about John Stockton? And this was something I've always complimented you about. You played every game. And if you could play, you were going to play. John Stockton and Jerry Sloan used to talk about this. You know this a lot better than I would. But when we talk about Stockton and Malone, not only were they great, but they practiced every day. They didn't take days off. They went to work every day. They played. We talk about load management. These guys not only played every game every year, they practiced every day.
Grant, let me just tell you this. I still vividly remember a day when Jerry Sloan's like, okay, Carl, you sit out. John, you out. Horny, you out. Jump on a sec.
Yeah.
Man, them boys look at him like, I'm playing. Because we're about to scrimmage. Like, they don't want to sit out. They refuse. These guys were insane with this stuff. They didn't sit out. Players today,
I love that.
And they would have ran to the sideline.
What was
and
it
the
like?
funny thing about it is that players today, they don't even practice anymore. So,
hey, I watched Jerry Sloan play in person at Madison Square Garden with the Chicago Bulls once. And I remember that team. They had Bullwinkle, they had Walker, they had Bob Love, Jerry Sloan. But when I got to know Jerry Sloan and interviewed him a number of times, I was fascinated by what a great person he was and some of the in-depth conversations I would have with him. But what was it like being around Jerry Sloan when he was mad?
Oh my God! I can't even say this stuff on air.
Well, say it
I
without
will
the four-letter words.
Oh, I'm gonna say it without the 4 and the 9s and all of them, and the 11s.
Could he intimidate you? Could he intimidate you?
Yes, and that's the crazy thing. It's not like you were scared of him, but you were scared of him. You know, because it's like, okay, if I start seeing this old man and he whoops my butt, that's embarrassing. Because we always used to say, if you pick a fight with Jerry Sloan, you better bring your lunch pail, because it's gonna be a long day. And so, to me, one of the things I really truly respected with this man is that he could have a meltdown in the locker room in regards to our play, and most of the time he was correct. We were not, and we did that too. That's why I say I'm not gonna put stuff on this generation. There were days where we came out sluggish. Again, we were playing all the time. So there's going to be some nights you're not sharp. And he would be like, you guys are not sharp. I still remember him taking out the starting unit after 2 minutes one time. We're talking about 2 Hall of Famers on the starting lineup. He took everybody out because we're a team. Gosh. He's not going to single guys out. But after he would cuss you out and everything else, it's over. He shook your hand. And that was it. And it ended in that moment with that handshake. And that's what I love most about him.
Sitting courtside for 32 years and announcing NBA basketball, I heard a lot of things. And we always talk about like language, and we talk about stuff that used to happen in the stands that cannot happen anymore. I know you remember Leon the barber, the fan in Detroit. Oh my gosh. Hey, OP. There were times when I have to mute my microphone if it was quiet for a period of time, because he was sitting right behind us. Leon the barber had some of the most amazing things come out of his mouth during the game that I'll never forget.
But yes, okay, so Leon's in Detroit, and for the fans who don't know, I'll tell you this right now. Today's players, they would have had meltdowns. None of them could handle Leon.
Yeah.
None of them would be able to. But the guy that was the best was Robin Finker.
Robin Finker with
the Washington Bullets and then the Wizards. This man never used profanity.
That's right.
That's what made him better than Leon.
That's why they could never kick him out of the arena.
Oh my goodness, they never could. And he used to talk about our coaches. I mean, he called Gary St. Jean a bus driver. He's like, why is the bus driver on the bench? But till this day, Grant, I still remember the greatest line ever uttered, because we literally thought he was giving a compliment to one of our teammates, Terry Mills. He says, man, let me tell y'all something right now. Terry Mills is the only person on that team with guts. Terry Mills is the only person on that team with guts. Unfortunately, he's got 5 of them.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, some of the things you remember the fan in Philadelphia. He was a piece of work, too. There was Philadelphia, Vicker in Washington, and Leon the barber in Detroit.
And Leon, yeah. Oh, they were awesome, man. But you love that stuff. You're going to play the game. When you come out, you hear it and all that. And it was almost motivational in a way, And so you wanted to play better because you didn't want to be talked about.
Yeah. And then there was Doug Moe when he coached the Denver Nuggets. Doug's language was so unbelievable. And listen, I'm like you. I'm from New York. I've heard a lot of things, okay? But I got to tell you, announcing a game in Denver or Sacramento with Doug Moe coaching the Nuggets, you heard some things you had never heard before. He was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And again, all these guys were very colorful, but they made the game fun. They respected the game enough to appreciate and understand that you have to give it your all. And that was the thing, like with Jerry, Doug Moe, all these guys, Larry Brown. It's like they didn't let you cheat the game. They didn't allow you to cheat the game. And it's unfortunate that, we don't have that as much anymore.
I'll never this would never happen, but the great Earl Strom was officiating a game, and I'll never forget this. So Dick Mata, Kings are getting blown out, and Dick wants to get kicked out of the game. Dick would love to get kicked out of a game, right? No, he wanted to go to the locker room and drink beer. And so the Kings are getting blown out, and he gets a technical, and he's trying to get a second. He's trying to get a second technical. You know what I'm going to say here, right? And so the ball's being brought up the court, and Earl just stops the game and walks over to Dick and says, "Dick, shut up and sit down. If I got to watch this crap, so do you. I'm not throwing you out of the game."
He's like, I'm not rescuing you from this. You're gonna enjoy the misery with me.
Is that like you would never ever have that happen today? Those were the good old days, OP.
But Grant, do you realize, and I don't even think that fans are noticing this, there's a shift in the NBA in regards to officials. They took out all the personalities.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And they basically gave us robots. They basically gave these, if you're looking right now, all these, no one knows who they are. They don't know their names really. But the majority, I mean, there's still a few guys, but they really lack personality. They're very androidish, you know? It's like, okay, I'm just going to blow the whistle. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to look at you. Man, I love those guys. Dick Bavetta,
Dick Bavetta, Jake O'Donnell.
Man, come on, Darryl Garrison.
Yeah. Great. Dick Bavetta might not even be able to officiate in this era with his personality. Seriously.
None of those guys could.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. How much you're going to watch college basketball from the time it's on until the time it's over this weekend?
Man, I was watching NIT yesterday.
Yeah. How about that? You know what? I'm glad you know what? I'm so happy you said that I used to love the NIT, and I think us being growing up in New York had a lot to do with that because it was the finals and the semifinals were at MSG, and it was a big deal. Now teams are declining NIT invitations. We just saw it with Indiana. I hate that, OP.
Yeah, I did too, because that used to be the number one tournament.
Yes.
And the NCAA is a big monster now. So I get it. But good basketball is still good basketball. But yeah, I watched the games yesterday. Texas, NC State, and Howard and UCMB, and it was just, I mean, those were great games. And that's what I love about March Madness is that it's going to be the most entertaining thing you watch. You think you're up 20 with 3 minutes, the game is over, all of a sudden you're down one. There's always something exciting happening.
What's it like to be back to you being that young, being on such a good program, Terry Holland, Final Four? What was that experience like? I mean, again, you're so young at that time in Raw. What's that like? What was that like?
Everything was new to me and fascinating and exciting and scary all at once. You know, it's like, again, it's like not smart. Well, I don't want to say smart, just not knowledgeable enough to know I didn't know anything. You know, it was like, I didn't know I was supposed to be in the Final Four as a freshman. I didn't know I was supposed to, go up against Hakeem Olajuwon and compete. It was like, hey, he's the next guy in front of me. I didn't realize that it was Hakeem Olajuwon, a great player. I just saw him as another player. And so because everything was so fresh and new to me, I just went out there and played as best as I could. And everything, I just took everything in. So that's the beauty of it. Like, especially March Madness, it's the opportunity for these guys to be on a big stage. And again, being on that big stage, I didn't realize it was a big stage. Perfect example is this. We're playing in the Final Four, right? First, we have the first game. In the afternoon, I literally said, oh my God, I'm going to miss the Final Four on TV. Like, duh, you're in it.
Duh, you're in it. What is wrong with you?
I know, but in that moment, I was just thinking, I was like, wait a minute, you're playing in the...
Hey, I'm so happy you brought up Hakeem Olajuwon because you've chronicled many times and on this show that you didn't begin playing basketball until really late in your life, relatively speaking. And that was the same with Olajuwon. And it's pretty fascinating to me to see two players that didn't start playing basketball until later in their career. I'll tell you, I had this conversation just to, go off on a tangent here. I was sitting at a birthday dinner in Dallas, Texas, next to Roger Staubach and his wife. And I didn't realize this, but Roger Staubach, the great, great Hall of Fame quarterback from the Dallas Cowboys, when he went to the Naval Academy, also played baseball. And he was telling me at dinner that his dream was to play in Major League Baseball. And he didn't even start playing football, if you can believe this, until high school. And I think about that. Roger Staubach didn't begin playing football until high school. You didn't start playing until later in your life. Olajuwon, it's amazing to me. I'm blown away when I hear stories like this because now, OP, as you know, we've got travel teams. Kids are pressured to playing only one sport, and they start doing it at such a young age and blah, blah, blah. It's so different now.
It really is. And it's unfortunate that these kids get pushed to this and they get worn out. Because to me, I believe you should play other sports. Me growing up playing soccer helped me with basketball. And so, and starting late, I didn't get burned out by it. Everything was so fresh and new to me. I was like, oh my God, I want to learn this. I want to learn that. And now they're playing at 6 years old. They're doing AAU at 12, travel ball, 11, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like, come on, man, that's too much. And to me, that's part of the problem with the injuries is that they are getting broken down and worn out at such an early age.
Well, the other aspect, and again, with the advancement of medical technology and data and everything else, there are a lot of people that feel that playing the same sport is bad for your body. When you play different sports, you're using different muscle groups. And when you look at the era that we grew up in, and you look at the era after us, really, where people were still playing 2 and 3 sports, when they went into college and pros, it doesn't seem like there were as many injuries. Now it seems like everybody's getting hurt all the time.
Listen, these guys have the greatest medical staff now, and I'm talking about NBA.
Yep.
And even in college, they got development of so many different things, microfracture surgery, all that stuff.
Yep.
A lot of stuff we didn't have. I mean, think about it. Our knee braces were them big, bulky things.
Sure.
Now they got these thin sleeves that they put on that has more support than the bulky. But yet they have all these advancements and they're getting hurt more. It makes no sense to me how that's happening.
And OP,
but that's why I believe it's because they're where it's at.
OP, you played in an era where you had 4 games in 5 nights. You didn't stay in a city like they do now to cut down on travel and play the same team twice, which they do now a couple of times during the year. They don't have as many back-to-backs. The travel is much better now. The planes they're on are much nicer than when you played. I mean, it's a joke. You started flying commercial when you entered the league. It's crazy what's going on now.
Hey, commercial flights at 5:45 a.m. You had to take the first flight available.
Yep.
I remember we had a game. We got stranded in Denver, Colorado. We played the Nuggets, and big snowstorm hit, and we had to fly out in sections. Like the starters went out first. We finally got on a plane after being in Denver for 3 days, and we were going to Houston to play the Rockets. And the game started with the starters, and here comes the coaches running out the locker room. We didn't even have a coach because they were still getting dressed. Then the second unit, our plane landed later, and here we come in the middle of the first quarter.
Yeah.
Now,
I love it.
Tell me, where in the world are you going to have that in the NBA now?
No chance. No chance. All right, so let me circle back to the NCAA tournament. Who do you like? Who do you think who's going to be standing with the trophy when it's all said and done?
Well, I did my brackets, S's, and all of them has Arizona.
Arizona, huh?
So that's the one I'm going with. I'm going with Arizona. I got Duke getting knocked out in the Elite Eight, and one of them. I think I have Duke in one Final Four, but how many brackets?
Whoa. How many brackets do you do?
I did 4.
Okay.
I just did 4.
Okay.
That's all.
Are they a lot
You know,
different
because
for all your brackets?
I do one when I pick one side, then I do another one I pick another side. So I do it like that, and then I just do a random one, you know, and then I do a head one and a heart one.
You do a what?
A head, just using my head, facts and figures,
and a
then
heart.
I do one where I use my heart, like University of Virginia. I got University of Virginia winning.
Oh my gosh, you're a piece of work, man. Yeah, you got the Cavaliers winning, huh? You got your alma mater going the distance in one of them, huh? Just because you have
one
to.
of my brackets, yeah.
Yeah, I
in
got
one
you.
of my brackets, but I don't think that one's going to win.
Yeah, I haven't even examined what do you think's their biggest challenge early on in the tournament?
Oh man, Virginia, the tournament exposes all your weaknesses and strengths. I still don't think they score enough points. You know, that's a residue of Tony Bennett's offense. They just don't have enough talent. You know, they're good, they play hard and everything else like all Virginia teams do. They just don't have enough talent. And when you play in this tournament, it comes down to the team with, you know, the combination of the hard work and the talent. That's why I got like a Kansas being in the Final Four, Arizona being in the Final Four and winning it. So it seems like that. Florida does well, you know, in the tournament. And then you're always going to have your surprise, you know, the Cinderellas.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you look
I
at
like
travel?
Iowa State. I do like Iowa State because they have a young man that I coach, Josh Jefferson. And so I like them a lot. I think they probably gonna make some noise because I know I have them in one of my brackets at least to the Elite Eight. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Do you look at travel like, for instance, St. John's? You know, they beat Connecticut twice. They've just beat them in the Big East tournament, but they're a 5th seed and they're in the East, but they have to play the first weekend in San Diego. Do you pay attention to that stuff, or do you think we make too much out of where the games are if you're a team like St. John's playing in San Diego?
I think it makes a difference, but it also, you know, the players get a chance to travel. So now is what do they do within that travel? Are they going to be out, you know, hanging out, doing God knows what, or are they going to concentrate on the tournament?
Yeah.
You know, like they might send you to a place where there's nothing to do and you concentrate on basketball, but here you are, you're going to be in San Diego, sunny skies. I mean, we got some of the best weather, especially in San Diego at this time of year. So
sure.
Who knows? They might all go surfing.
You're crazy. I can imagine Rick Pitino seeing his team out there surfing. I want to see how that goes over. Hey, enjoy the games this weekend. I love talking to you. You have a great charisma and just tremendous education from an era that I love talking about. Great stories. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you, Grant.
Thank you. That's great. I love that. It's one of my favorite segments that I do. It's great. Great stuff. Village Financial Group. Yes, indeed. If you are buying a home, selling a home, and a lot of people now are looking at home equity line of credits because they're locked in with great interest rates, and they're like, I'm going to just use the equity in my home. I'm going to stay put for a while. If that's you, or if, hey, you know, maybe you're getting transferred, maybe it is time for you to sell, whatever the case may be, Spencer with Village Financial Group is your guy. He's experienced. He has access to private money. His Village Financial Group company, he's been in business now for, 26 years, family owned, locally owned. He will do a phenomenal job for you. Call him or text him at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Or you can go online to vfgloans.com. That's vfgloans.com. You'll find access to thousands of listings available for purchase. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Grant's Grant at 5 o'clock, followed by Marcos Breton. OP, what did you think? I love listening to him. He has great stories. Loved it. We'll be right back here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Downtown Fort Sacramento welcomes you. With literally acres of new and Ford certified pre-owned vehicles on site, you can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. Downtown Ford Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center. Welcome to Par 18 Golf, Northern California's premier TrackMan Golf Performance Center. If you love the game of golf, you're gonna love Par 18 Golf. Par 18 Golf is where serious golfers go to elevate their game to an entirely new level. Par 18 Golf features Ultratech TrackMan practice bays. These are the very same golf simulator systems that PGA players use to perfect their game. TrackMan systems use Doppler radar and high-speed cameras that give you instant feedback on your swing. It analyzes distance, ball spin, face angle, and club path. It's how the world's very best players train. Open for both private and group events, with memberships, leagues, and coaching available. It's for serious golfers who demand more from their game. Located inside the historic Nimbus Winery in Rancho Cordova. Open every day by reservation, rain or shine, day or night. Visit par18golf.com today and experience the future of golf performance.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
916-779-0929. That's a 20-minute segment every week that I'm just like, I never know where it's heading, Ryan. I never know what direction we're going in. I never know what we're going to talk about. Here we are, ended up talking about Leon the Barber, one of the most infamous fans in the NBA for many, many years in Detroit. We talked about fans in Philadelphia and Washington. Rhino, you just never know where the conversation is going to be going. Just don't know.
No, you do not. I do know this, though. When we get around to doing the dandies, OP is probably the leader in the clubhouse for best laugh so far.
Yes, no question. Speaking about the leader in the clubhouse, what about the leader for what we're doing for the tournament here? So we're going to do greatest uniforms of all time, best uniforms of all time, correct?
Yeah, we're going to take 16 submissions. We will rank them, or we will seed them accordingly. So it's going to be a sweet 16. So send us what you think the best, any sports uniform, the best uniform is of all time. And we will, as the tournament's going on, post polls on X. And you can vote. And whichever one wins moves on to the next round. So
I think I'm gonna put one right there. I think the Yankees home uniforms have never changed from day one, with the blue pinstripes, with the NY on their chest, with no names, never had names on the back of the jersey. And the one thing that drives me crazy is to see a Yankee fan wearing a jersey with a name on the back. Now, I understand that the manufacturers very often just do that and they sell them. And so you go buy a jersey and it has the name on it. It irks me when I see a Yankee jersey with a name on it. Like if you go and see the number 99 and people at Yankee Stadium or out and about and the name Judge is on the uniform, get that off. Take the damn name off. That is just not right.
Yeah, it's the point of it. You know who the player is by the number if it's a Yankees jersey. That's like, well, it's not like, but people that put their own last names on pro jerseys, it's a little bit weird.
And I think the Montreal Canadiens, their sweater, we call them sweaters in hockey, I think that's one of the great uniforms of all time.
Okay.
All right, so where are you going? Give me an idea or two. Give me a nomination.
I'm going to do,
what do you think?
I'm going to do the Kings 2001 to 2000. Yes, the 2001 to 2002 uniforms where they were either white, purple, or black. I think the purple one with the silver accent, it's a stunner. They've never brought those back, but I think that would be one I would put up. It's hard not to want to put up Notre Dame. It's a classic uniform. Doesn't really change much. I also think about, and don't call me a homer, but the Seahawks, their uniforms, the silver and the royal blue. I mean, the Tampa Bay Creamsicles. There's so many uniforms that we could throw out there.
I agree with you on Tampa Bay, their Creamsicles. Those were that was a good look. I would agree with that.
So I think Creamsicles probably makes the top 16.
I think the Chicago Blackhawks sweater, I think have been phenomenal. And I'm a hockey guy. There are a lot of phenomenal hockey jerseys.
What about the Orlando Magic? Again, it's like that lighter royal blue with the silver pinstripes.
Yeah.
When Shaq and Penny played.
Yeah.
Those were fire.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, what about NBA? See, the problem with the NBA, it's very limited. I know you just talked about Orlando and you talk about Sacramento, but I'm trying to go back to like different eras. The jerseys haven't changed that much. They have, depending on the franchise. Anything stick out to you from like the Magic Bird era?
Ooh, it's a good question. Magic,
because they were pretty
Bird
basic
era.
back then. There wasn't a lot of flair back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, not really off the top of the head. I would have to think about it. And we haven't in college. Somebody saying Denver Broncos original Crush or Orange Crush uniforms. I like when the Giants, the football Giants, wear the Sims Giants uniforms.
See, I'm a little different. I like the NY on the helmet as opposed to Giants written out because that's the era that I grew up in the 60s and the 70s. And then they went to the new look with it said Giants on the helmet instead of the NY. I'm a traditionalist. I like the NY on it. So somebody said they really like the Vegas Golden Knights jerseys. He said that he thinks that they're a great look, even though they're a young team. What do I think? I got to be honest. I've never really liked their jerseys. I don't like their color scheme. And I say that in that if I was going to have that color scheme, I would do the road jersey, the white jersey, as opposed to the home jersey. I think their white jersey looks better than their home jersey.
We've got some Celtics in the chat right there. The Celtics
never
green.
Changed, really. I mean, that's an old vintage. Here we are. It's like the Yankees in terms of it's just always been the same.
What about the North Carolina Tar Heels basketball uniforms?
Yeah.
Those are pretty classic.
They really are. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So what do people have to do?
Just give us your nominations and we will seed them accordingly if we feel they make the top 16. And we will send you to X when we put our first round matchups up there and you can vote. And whoever you vote on and they win, they move on to the next round. We've got Spud Webb Hawks jersey.
Yeah. How about Denver
From
Broncos?
Casey?
How about the Denver Broncos original Orange Crush uniforms?
We said
Someone said
Yep.
one of the best ever. I would agree with that.
Okay. There you
Yeah.
go. So we're off to a decent start. Kings fan here, but the Lakers 2000 to 2010 jerseys are pretty nice. I don't think about the Lakers jerseys changing that much.
No, I don't either. I don't ever recall them changing.
I know they went to the white for Sundays.
Yeah, but that's about it. Those were really good looking uniforms, by the way.
Oh, you know what? This is a good one. The old red jerseys and red helmets of the Atlanta Falcons when Sanders was there. I don't disagree with that.
There are a lot of choices. What about college? You mentioned Notre Dame. USC has always had the same. Penn State, very bland, never's changed.
I don't like USC. I don't like the color
I
scheme.
like USC. I don't like Penn State. Too bland. Alabama's never changed. Like there are a lot of colleges that their uniforms have stayed the same.
Yeah, we will find a way to do it on another platform as well, Dorian. We will put the vote out there. We can do it on the text line as well. So we'll make sure you're heard, okay?
So here you go. You got 916-779-0929. All right, you can text into that number, 779-0929. You can also go to our stream on YouTube and use the chat line there. You can send it on X to Rhino or me. I mean, there are a lot of ways you can do it.
Yes. All right. We're getting a lot of submissions.
All right, here's one. I like how Pittsburgh has all three teams with the same black and yellow colors. I agree with you. Pirates, Penguins, Steelers. I agree with you. I think it's great.
M. Bauer. I don't disagree, Grant. M. Bauer, the Philly Eagles midnight green. Those are nice. Those were like the Dave Archer ones when he played quarterback there. I know you don't like that city, but just saying.
Never heard of that city. Don't even know what you're talking about. Chicago Bulls, black with red letters under Jordan in the Pippen days.
Yes. So I thought about those, but I think Orlando beats those out. Maybe they need to be in the tournament and go head to head.
All right. 916-779-0929. What do you think? Which direction are you going? We'll continue with this conversation when we come back right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
This weekend, Hot Wheels Monster Trucks is live at Cal Expo, but this Thursday, you can see the all-new Rhino Mine in person at Elk Grove Chevrolet. It's free to the public, plus win tickets and other official swag, too. Come see Rhino Mine this Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. at Elk Grove Chevrolet at the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
It's the All Things Legal Show, heard every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Join your host, Craig Ashton, with an entertaining and eclectic view of all things legal. Saturday mornings from 8 to 9. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Get the best. Bridgestone tires are engineered to keep your world moving, and that's what really matters. Now through March 31st, buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get $80 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. For the best selection in Bridgestone tires, get to Expert Tires and Brakes at 5810 Auburn Boulevard. Expert Tires and Brakes. Save big and get their 60-minute install guarantee. Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard. That's Expert Tires and Brakes.
Did you hate your heating bill this winter? Fix it with 10-10-20 from Sierra Pacific. 10 years parts and labor warranty, 10 years to pay, and 20% off a new Sierra Pacific comfort system. Plus, this system will get SMUD customers a $3,000 rebate. Lock in the best price of the year on the best option for heating and cooling your home. 10-10-20, only from Sierra Pacific.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks. Call the good dudes at Gabrudes. Gubruds.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrude's does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrude's, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, Gubruds.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes. Gubruds. Gabruds.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Downtown Ford Sacramento welcomes you with literally acres of new and Ford certified pre-owned vehicles on site. You can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. Downtown Ford Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center.
Coach Breton of the Sacramento Bee. Rhino, I like this one a lot here from the 916. I'm a San Diego Chargers fan. I love my powder blues with the yellow jerseys. Those are definitely going to make it a couple of rounds, I would think. Those are dynamite jerseys.
Are we talking about the originals, though? Because there's been so many variations.
There have been.
Of the powder blues.
Yeah. Well, I can't even put that visualization in my mind because there have been so many. But those powder blues with that color scheme and the helmets, those were great.
Yeah, I think we go original. I'm there.
Don't you think they're one of the top ones?
Yeah, they're up there. The Seahawks blacks or the Lions alternative blacks. I don't even remember the Seahawks blacks.
All right, so here's the problem I have. I don't like either of those because that has nothing to do with the color scheme of the franchise. So I would automatically eliminate those. I don't want a jersey that is for the sole purpose of helping out the company that manufactures the jersey with these new uniforms that don't have your color scheme. If it doesn't have the color scheme of your franchise, it's not going to be on my bracket. Now you can put it on yours. It's not going on mine.
Well,
all right?
it has to be our bracket. We got to talk this out.
Well, all right. Well, I'm just telling you, it's my show. You're my wingman. I get the vote no, we're not going there.
Not even the Heat alternate ones?
Nope. It's not part of their color scheme. If it's not part of your color scheme, it's not eligible. I don't want these manufactured jerseys that are made just to benefit the apparel companies that are making them. I'm sorry. That's the rule.
Okay.
Now, when you take over for me in the next week or two because of all of the praise that you're getting, then you can have your own rules. You can. Our votes that might be a little different. Your vote will be the deciding vote. Right now, my vote is the deciding vote. Okay.
Fair enough.
So if it's not part of your color scheme, you're not in this year's bracket. Okay? That's not allowed. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, I do. I'm with you. I got you. This is going to be good. So we'll come up with the seedings on these. We're getting a lot of reaction on them. The Athletic Kelly greens. That's kind of
the Athletics have had good jerseys, don't you think? No?
I mean, they've been classic, right? It's either the Oakland across the chest with the grays or it's the A on the chest, one side of the chest. But yeah, the A's have some good jerseys.
So this one, the Kansas City Royals powder blues from the Bo Jackson era were good.
I would agree.
Good. They were good.
What about Team USA men's hockey sweaters?
That's right up there. It's one of the great. Well, they're one of the greats. I put that right up there. That's got to be on the list. That's phenomenal. Those jerseys are phenomenal.
Is there any Team USA basketball jerseys over the years? The Dream Team ones. Those were kind of ugly, I think.
Yeah, I can't even remember what they look like, Ryan. I don't even remember.
No All-Star jerseys. We're not doing All-Stars.
No. I don't even know if we can we include the Olympics or should we just say nah?
I don't have a vote. You tell
me.
me.
Well, I already had one vote, so I'm going to give you this vote. This is your decision.
Well, it is red, white, and blue. No, I don't think we can.
Yeah, we got to. It's too much.
Yeah,
right.
I'm with you.
All right. Lynn says the San Francisco Warriors, the city editions. There are a lot to choose from here.
Yeah.
There are a lot to choose from. I guess the question is, do you think out of the four sports, hockey, football, baseball, basketball, in my opinion, this is just me, I go hockey and football are on the top of my list, followed by basketball and then baseball in terms of attractiveness of uniforms. But that's just me.
Yeah. I'm a basketball. I go basketball, I go football, and then I go hockey.
But the hockey
baseball.
sweaters are incredible. They are. They're amazing.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. Cincinnati
What about
Bengals,
the Padres
whiteout.
Browns? Somebody said
Padres,
I'm not. I
Browns.
don't. Padres.
I'm
Browns
not a
didn't
big
do it
fan
for
of
me.
those.
No,
yeah,
I'm not either.
I was not a huge fan.
Yeah.
We haven't even hit on a ton of different college ones. College is fair play here. If you've got a good college classic uniform, I think North Carolina is kind of the standard because they were the first ones to really have that design on the side of the uniforms.
There's the one thing I hated about going to Bowling Green. We had the ugliest color scheme. It was just like the Cleveland Browns. I hated wearing our uniforms. I was the ugliest darn uniform. Sometimes we would wear orange tops with brown shorts. The white tops with the brown shorts weren't bad. We would have the white jerseys with brown numbers and brown shorts for lacrosse. I was like, oh my gosh, I went to a school with horrible colors.
Do you remember
orange, brown, and white?
Do you remember who made your uniforms and made
No.
like your practice gear? Because
No.
when I was at SDSU, it was Russell Athletic. Nothing against Russell Athletic, but let's just say the uniforms were not as light and comfortable as they are today with what Nike and all these other companies are making. But I had to go from high school blue and gold, which was basically the Notre Dame color scheme.
Yeah.
To our rival colors. So our rival was red, black, white, and that's what San Diego State ended up being. But that was easy to match up when it came to shoes.
Well, I just remember the first time I went to Bowling Green for my visit. The Bowling Green hockey team was playing. Their hockey jerseys didn't look that bad. It was white. They were the white jersey with Bowling Green in brown, and the Falcon, their logo was in orange. And it wasn't bad, but then when I saw the football uniform, the football team of Bowling Green looks just like the Cleveland Browns. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of the Browns uniforms. Never have been.
I just said it, Peter. San Diego State Aztec colors.
Yeah,
I just said it. I said I owned that. I loved those colors. Actually, I never thought I'd wear them, but I loved them.
Lynn says make a bracket for each sport, 16 teams. Lynn,
It's
I'll
too
let
much.
you do that. We're
It's too
working for a
much.
living here. We don't have time. I mean, with everything that we got going on, I'm going to make a bracket for each sport. I like the idea, Lynn, but I don't like the work load. So I don't think we're going to do that.
And we wouldn't get enough votes because we'd be asking you to vote nonstop.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
we're only doing 16 uniforms.
Yeah. Someone says Cincinnati Bengals white out jerseys.
It's a joke. They were hilarious.
I know. Here's one out of left field. How about the New York Cosmos? That is from left field. I don't even remember, and I grew up watching Pele play. I don't even remember what the Cosmo jerseys look like. I'd have to look it up online.
What about the Chicago Bulls jerseys that have Chicago going in cursive at an angle? Those are pretty cool.
Yeah. There are a lot to choose from.
We will continue narrowing it down. Not too late to submit yours.
916-779-0929. You can submit them, and we will have a lot of fun with this. How about the USA Ryder Cup polos? They were sharp.
But if we're disqualifying the Olympics,
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yeah, and plus their performance was too embarrassing for them to even be included. So they're eliminated because of their poor performance on their home soil in Bethpage, Long Island. So they're done. They're not eligible just on their performance.
Okay, so the 916 says Sharks, which I'm like, but the Raider uniforms, I don't disagree. It's a classic look.
It is a classic look, but I think what makes their uniforms is the helmets, not the jerseys. Right? I mean, their uniforms are very basic with the exception of the helmet.
Okay, hold on. You're including the helmet's as important as the uniform.
Okay. Well, the helmet's vintage. I mean, that would be on there. Personally, I think the Sharks uniforms are beautiful. I like the teal, the white. I think their color scheme is great. I think their jerseys are great. I've always enjoyed the Sharks jerseys. I think they're a sharp looking sweater.
Sweater.
No, that's what they call them.
I know.
In
I
hockey.
know. You know what sweater? I like the Vancouver uniforms.
The Vancouver Canucks.
For whatever reason.
A lot of different jerseys throughout the eras. They had a jersey in the 90s that was one of the ugliest color schemes I've ever seen in my entire life. You can look it up. It was like you'd have to wear sunglasses to watch the Vancouver Canucks play.
The reason we're not doing the ugliest uniforms is because we already know the winner. It's the gold.
Yeah.
The Kings.
Absolutely. I've got a winner for you. It's DAS Mechanical when it comes to heating and air, and they're winners in a lot of different areas. They are donating a heating and air conditioning system to an individual and family in need. You can nominate yourself or someone you know by going to dasmechanical.org, and you click on the 2026 HVAC donation tab. Fill out a real quick form, nominate yourself or somebody you know, or how about a veteran? And DAS Mechanical will install a heating or air conditioning unit for you or the individual that you nominate. Again, go to dasmechanical.org. Family owned. They are locally owned, serving Sacramento and Placer counties. And listen, you're looking at the weather here in the middle of March. Supposed to be maybe 90 tomorrow. And you're thinking about how mild last summer was. Well, based on what we're dealing with right now, that's probably going to be the opposite. Are you good to go? Is your air conditioning unit ready for what may be a scorching period of time? You need it tuned up. Get to dasmechanical.org. Have them come out to your residence and let them take care of you. Whether it's a home or a business, they do it all. And don't forget to go to dasmechanical.org and nominate an individual for a heating or air conditioning unit. That's dasmechanical.org. Grant's Rant is coming up in just a couple of moments, followed by Marcos Breton. We are going to talk about the WBC that was played last night. And by the way, hello to Baki, who is out of the hospital over in Belgrade. He just sent me a message that they're listening in the wee hours of the morning. And we appreciate your support. Glad that you are good. Said cheers from the sports and NBA family. Now we are listening to the show live and enjoy. How about that? Great supporters listening on the other side of the pond, long ways away in Belgrade, Serbia. That's great, isn't it, Rhino? We love that.
Love it.
Yeah, love it.
Glad he's out of the hospital.
What's going on with the Kings? What's that?
Glad he's out of the hospital and feeling better.
Yes, absolutely. How about the Kevin Garnett Timberwolves black with the trees on the collar? I don't remember that one.
I'm all for that. That's the jersey that Anthony Peeler chin checked Kevin Garnett in. Yeah, we can do that.
Which cost the Kings a chance to go to the NBA Western Conference Finals. I believe that if Anthony Peeler had not been suspended for Game 7, the Kings would have won that series.
It wasn't C. Webb shooting a three.
It wouldn't have had to come down to the three if Anthony Peeler was on the floor. That killed the Kings. That was a horrible, just a stupid decision by Anthony Peeler. And I believe the Kings would have beat Minnesota in Game 7. We would have boarded the plane that night. So real quickly, that night, we had to pack for the next series because if the Kings had won, they were going to play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. And so you're announcing a game and you're doing the game and you know that you're getting on a plane after the game, but you don't know if you're going to Sacramento or LA, and you're praying that you're going to LA.
Yeah.
And you're hanging on every single basket and you're like, please get me on that plane, LA. We got to play the Lakers again. We got to beat them, blah, blah, blah. And then you lose, and you walk outside. And I told you the story. I'm in line at the hangar. We're in line to show the ID to get on our charter. And Vladdy and Peja are next to me. And Vladdy had grabbed a cup of coffee in the general aviation there. And he said, "We're done." I go, "What do you mean we're done?" He goes, "That's it. It's over." I'm like, "What do you mean it's over?" He goes, "That's it. We're done." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We're done. That's it. We're not winning a championship." He goes, "That's it. This was our chance. This era is over." And that was his last game he ever played for the Kings. And Webb would never be the same player. And the Kings were never the same team. I'll never forget it. I know exactly where I was standing in that airport hangar in Minneapolis. I'll never forget it. Never forget it. Grant Grant coming up next, followed by Marcos Breton of the B right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. At first glance, opening night of March Madness doesn't exactly scream must-watch. A pair of 16 seeds and a matchup of 11 seeds rarely moves the needle for the casual fan. The 16 seeds may be long shots. History has made that clear. As for the 11 seed games, well, that carries far more weight than it appears. This is where March has quietly built some of its most compelling stories. 6 different 11 seeds have crashed the Final Four. LSU, George Mason, VCU, Loyola Chicago, UCLA, and most recently, NC State. It's a trend. They're not your typical underdogs. They often are battle-tested, overlooked for one reason or another, but talented enough to win a few games in a row. That's the beauty of the tournament. Only takes one game to spark a run, and once that starts, the seed next to your name doesn't matter. If you're looking for some madness to begin, history tells us the 11 seeds are a pretty good place to start. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. 2 words, prostate exam. Relax. Screening starts with a simple finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate when caught at a localized or regional stage. If you're 40 or over and have a prostate, visit relaxitsabloodtest.com to see if a PSA blood test is right for you. Talk to your doctor about screening and the next steps. Sponsored by Novartis. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance. Scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals, but Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that goes above and beyond to help you keep more of what matters. No hunting, no hassle, just confidence that your coverage customized with savings in mind. Start your quote at Liberty.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
All right, Rhino, what do we have?
Grant,
Middle of the week, let's do it.
Yeah, Grant, I've been talking about this for a minute, but the Bucks want to shut down Giannis Antetokounmpo because of some lingering injuries, and really they want to preserve him as an asset. Well, he has stringed this team along so much, and now he doesn't want to be shut down, and looks like he's not going to be in Milwaukee. They changed the roster in the offseason because he wants to be in Milwaukee. Can we just get this over with? It's becoming too much. Second, the Hall of Fame for hockey is refusing to give Jack Hughes the golden goal puck back. They say it does not belong to him. Last but not least, you can go either way on this. Not sure if you saw Alex Caruso use a shoe to block Tristan da Silva's shot last night. He was given a technical foul for doing so. I say let it go. It's great. Or you can go the other side, that it was reckless to use a shoe to block a shot. Clean block,
right.
too.
As far as the Jack Hughes, I love what he represents and everything that he has said. And he has been a phenomenal role model, if I can use that term, and a great example of what it's like to be a true Olympian and a United States hero. But the puck does not belong to him. It's not his puck. And I believe that puck does deserve to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Okay? So, yes, he's wrong here. Okay? He's wrong. Absolutely wrong. That puck does not belong to him. It's not his puck. It's not the property. It's not like a baseball that he's entitled to that he hit out of the yard. It's not his puck. And I believe that monumental goal deserves to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So as much as I love what he has done and represented, I don't think he has a right to be upset on this. I don't. It's not his puck. It's not his right to claim property of the puck just because he scored. Why does an individual think because they scored a winning goal in a hockey game, albeit for the gold medal, why does he feel that he's entitled to own that puck? So I'm sorry, I don't agree. It's the first thing I've disagreed with Jack Hughes since the Olympics, and that's my rant for today. All right, I opened up the show today talking about the World Baseball Classic, and I talked about how I was kind of lukewarm at the beginning, and then I watched every pitch of the United States and the Dominican Republic game. I watched every pitch of last night's game, and I got to tell you, it's baseball the way I remembered baseball. It was a phenomenal spectacle, and a guy that I really love talking to, and for the first time since I've been on this radio show, he joins me, the long-time writer, columnist from the Sacramento Bee, Marcos Breton. Marcos, it's great to have you on my show. How are you, sir?
Grant, I'm doing great, and I love your show, and it's great to be on with you.
Thank you. How many years now at the Sacramento Bee?
Grant, I've been here 36 years.
Wow.
And if someone had told me in November of 1989 that I would still be here in 2026, I would have laughed. But like you, I fell in love with Sacramento, and here I am.
Yeah. I was so enthralled with what I watched, particularly in the games in Miami and the way the games were played, the enthusiasm. Let me first off and ask you, how important, can you put into perspective what Venezuela did last night on the world stage and what that means to the Latin community?
Listen, I'm trying to think of a historical comparison. And I don't think there is one in baseball, maybe in other sports. Like in track and field, when like Korean athletes competed in Japan in 1964, less than 20 years after Japan occupied their country. That's the only thing I could think of. In January, U.S. military was dropping bombs on the capital of Venezuela, and then last night in Miami, Venezuela, and the far different thing is obviously the baseball game, but Venezuela beat the United States in I was so, as a baseball fan, I was so overjoyed because, as you said in your intro, it reminded me of why I fell in love with the game in the first place, and it brought a level of strategy and a kind of like pitching and defense and base running and all the things that drew me to the game when I was a little kid growing up in the 70s, and then the joy that the Venezuelans play with. And I have to tell you, the thing that when it was over, okay, and I was happy for the Venezuelans, but they showed the American players in the dugout, and I've been reading all week that the American players didn't care. Yes, they did. All you had to do was see the expressions on the faces of Bryce Harper and all the other players on the Team USA that they wanted to win that game. So I think the tournament continues like a hot streak that baseball has been on since the World Series last year that got tremendous ratings and was a thriller all the way to the end. And it's got me excited about baseball. And listen, you and I both know there have been seasons recently when we didn't feel that way.
You've covered baseball for a long time. You have a vote for the Baseball Hall of Fame. You've seen a lot of things. But what this has really shown me, this World Baseball Classic, is how truly great the sport has become globally. You know, when we were growing up, Marcos, it was the United States, and we heard about baseball in Japan, and rightfully so. But now it's truly worldwide. I mean, we look at what we've experienced here in the WBC. It's amazing to me, the growth of this sport.
It is, and you know, the thing that jumped out at me is I was comparing it like to the recent Olympic hockey tournament, where in the end it was USA Canada, and so you know, Finland was good, Sweden was good, you know, the Germans play well. In this case, you had the two teams obviously in the final, and then you had a Dominican team that was just crushing it throughout the tournament. They easily could have won. Puerto Rico easily could have won. Japan, which got knocked out in the semis, they've won the tournament 3 times, more than anybody else. And you know, obviously most of them were Americans, but the Italian team was competitive. You know, and you know, the Dutch fielded a good team as well. And so you know, baseball in kind of a sneaky, quiet way has become much more of an international sport than maybe we gave it credit for, and is right there with basketball in terms of having global appeal.
When we watch the United States play, particularly in the last 2 games against the Dominican Republic and Venezuela, and I am not selling those teams short at all. They have a lot of talented players, major league players. I get that. Are we seeing the problem with baseball in this country right now? And I believe the decline of the popularity in Major League Baseball, that the ball's just not in play enough. It's like it's either a home run or a strikeout. Obviously, I'm being a little generic here, but that's really what we're talking about. The ball, to me, Marcos, and it's one of the reasons why I haven't watched a lot of Major League Baseball. The ball's just not in play enough for me.
It's not, and it's definitely a bias that I have. Listen, I get excited about a home run just like the next person, but the game has become, I think, a bit stale. A Major League Baseball seasons, the seasons do become a bit stale, and I think what people really respond to in this tournament is particularly the foreign teams. You know, how badly they want to win, and the joy that they play the game with, and I do think that you know, I mean, you can't, you know, the intensity and the joy that you saw in the World Baseball Classic over a week to 10 days, however long it was, you can't translate that over a 162 game season. I mean, sometimes the dog days of summers are just the dog days of summer.
Yeah,
but
you can't.
But,
right.
but I do think that you know, sort of rethinking kind of the culture of baseball and maybe leaving a little more room for players who play with, who actually seem like they're enjoying themselves while they're playing. I think fans respond to that.
I had Buck Martinez on my show a couple of days ago, and you've been here as long as I have. This is a great baseball community. There are so many phenomenal players that have come from this region and gone on to be big-time stars, the Dusty Bakers, Greg Vaughns, you know, FP, Fernando Vina. I mean, there's many, 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 many more. And so we have Major League Baseball in Sacramento for right now and the A's. And it was controversial, and I get everything. But how do you look at that? Do you look at it as a good thing? Were you on board with the A's coming here temporarily until they could move to Vegas? I can't remember what your view was on that. But after they've been here for a year and we get ready for a year or two, what's your viewpoint on all of this?
I think it's a great thing for Sacramento. Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I understood why some Bay Area commentators were upset that the A's left Oakland. I was a little more mystified when some folks in Sacramento felt the same way, in that this isn't like Sacramento. This isn't like when Seattle tried to take the Kings. I kept hearing that comparison. It's just not true. The NBA owners never voted to leave Sacramento. They rejected it twice. Whereas the major league owners were done with Oakland, and that had nothing to do with us in Sacramento. And so if they hadn't come to Sacramento, if somehow people had said, no, we don't want it to happen here, they would have gone to some other city to play a couple of years before their stadium in Las Vegas was ready. And so having them here, I think, is great for the fans, but it also demonstrates that it could happen here. And, the mayor of Sacramento and the mayor of West Sacramento are going to have a public event sometime in May where they put more details behind what they say is going to be a formal bid for an expansion team in Sacramento when Major League Baseball expands in 2029. And I think that's great, and I'm fully behind it. I think a lot of people are, and I think that we could support a team.
See, I disagree with you on that. I think that you could support a team from a fan perspective. That would not be the issue. I don't think this market is big enough. I don't think it's a big enough radio TV market, regardless of what you say, being the 20th market. It comes down to dollars and cents. It's a hyphenated market because it includes Stockton and Modesto. I don't think there's enough corporate money in this area. And on top of that, you don't have a stadium. It's not like you could play where they are now in that stadium for Major League Baseball. I don't agree with you. I don't think Major League Baseball would put a team in Sacramento. I don't think it would be anywhere near the top of the list based on other cities that want baseball. I think it's a crapshoot. Now, I don't have a problem with the mayor. I don't have a problem with the city leaders trying to go out and make a bid and make it happen. I just think it's very, very remote of it happening. And I hope I'm wrong, by the way. I would love to see it.
Listen, the opinion that you've had is one that I've had for years. But when I talked to Mayor Kevin McCarty, and the way that they would finance it, I think sounded doable. I do think that a corporate, we do not have a big corporate community headquartered in Sacramento. But I think they're feeling that, particularly with how easily money moves now, that they feel like that they can find a billionaire or billionaires who would want to make it happen. In the end, if I put my heart aside, I think you're probably much closer to the truth than I am. But I'm glad that they're trying, and I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised that the bid would be competitive.
Marcos Breton of the Sacramento Bee joining us here on the Grant Napear Show. So we now have two of the worst run franchises in professional sports in our area, don't we?
Oof.
Yeah.
Listen, Grant, I am just so. let's start with the Kings first. I am just so disgusted with the Kings ownership group, and I've Vivek Ranadive and I are not exactly like pen pals. You know what I mean? I have let him have it with both barrels in the pages of the Sacramento Bee. And do I think that he's really good at making money? I do. Do I think he's terrible? Probably the worst in the NBA at overseeing NBA basketball operations. I do. And I went to only one game this year. I'm not going to another one. I'm not giving them my money until or unless they can demonstrate that they're going to put a good product on the floor. They made moves last year that I'll never understand, and it's been a revolving door of coaches and general managers since Ron Adibe got here, squandering all the goodwill that people felt when we saved the dang Kings from leaving to Seattle, all for this. So it's really frustrating. I have nothing good to say about it right now, and I hope that I will someday. But I feel like I've been fooled enough times already.
We talked about this on my podcast, but I think people would be interested in knowing, because you've been in the newspaper business for a long time, spanning several decades. You've seen so many publications become extinct, out of business. Everything is online now. I used to love being able to pick up the paper and hold it in my hand. Yes, you can still do that, but not a lot of people do. I used to love traveling and going and buying the Chicago Sun-Times or the Daily News or the New York Post, and I would have ink on my fingertips after reading it. Like, I love that. I just love reading the paper, and we don't have that now. Everyone is online. What has been, for you, the biggest change in your industry and the most challenging aspect of doing your job now compared to when you first started?
Well, I mean, we don't have the resources that we used to have, right? I mean, when there was a time, and granted, it wasn't that long ago, as recently as 2007, my publication was one of the biggest employers in Sacramento, but what changed is, so I have a lot of conservative friends, and so they always tell me, Marcos, the reason the Bee is struggling is because you guys are too liberal. And I said, well, we may be too liberal, but that really has nothing to do with it. It's really money. And what happened after the Great Recession in '08 is people, when their pocketbooks were hit and they lost their homes and all these things, they got out of the habit of subscribing to the paper. And people as the digital thing became the dominant venue for reading content, people came to expect getting content for free. Grant, I can't put my kids through college for working for free. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you can't put out a publication for free. And so we're still in the fight. You know, we're smaller than we used to be. We're still in the fight. You know, we still seem to piss off a lot of people. So we got that going for us. But are things different now? Yeah, but the whole media empire has changed. And listen, unless you're named the New York Times, you're in a fight for your life right now, and that's what we're doing, and we're still standing.
I've told you this privately, but I want to tell you this publicly. We've gone at it at times over the decades, you and me. But the one thing I've always respected about you, you're able to communicate and listen to other people's viewpoints. You talk about political. I guarantee you that you could sit down with people that have opposing views of you over a couple of beers, and at the end, you would shake hands and hug and go, hey, that was great. I don't agree with you, but it was great. I just see the biggest problem in our society now in this country. People aren't willing to communicate, and I've always respected you about that, regardless of your viewpoint maybe being different from mine or somebody else's. You could pick up a phone, or I could meet with you, or what have you. We could have a conversation and talk about it. There's just not enough about that anymore, and I wish we could get back to that.
Yeah, and it seems to be getting worse, actually, and I think it's bipartisan. It's liberal and conservative and everything in between. And and so to me, so there was a time where you and I were really going at it, and so I thought then what I think now. It's like, you were going after it like you were supposed to, and I was doing the same. And I think in that sense, it's because we both sort of came up in a time where that's the way it was, and somehow something changed. So like when you left town, and I wrote several times, like, what happened to Grant is unjust. He needs to be here. And people were like, I thought you and Grant hate each other. I'm like, we never hate each other. We certainly went at each other. But to me, it's like something is right or it's wrong, and that's what it should be about, and not a personality thing. So, but we seem to be losing that now. And there's people like boycott things, or all of a sudden they want to cancel people. People try to cancel me many times, and I just can't get behind that. That's not the way I think. And the fact that you're on the radio in Sacramento, to me, is a great thing, and I hope you'll be on for a long time to come.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that one of the biggest problems in society is people don't know how to say they're sorry anymore. I make mistakes. I don't have a problem going on the radio and saying, hey, you know what? I blew that. I'm sorry. You don't have a problem with that. I have Olden Polonese on my show every week now, and he's great. And Opie and I went at it similar to the way you and I did for a while.
I remember.
Yeah, well, you know what, Marcos? You remember, and Opie wouldn't mind me saying this. So we are in the Read to Achieve promotion that the NBA is doing, and I am at a middle school with half of the team, and each player had to take a letter from the word respect. And Opie is standing next to me, and he has the last letter in the word T. And he gives the most eloquent speech
that I've ever heard a professional athlete give to young people. And it was all about think before you act. And he says, the letter T in respect, think before you act. And he went into this whole thing. And Marcos, the next day, he punches out Ari Graswich, your former colleague of the Sacramento Bee, in the locker room. Well, I go on the radio and I let him have it, right? I'm like, are you kidding me? And I went through the whole thing, and he got really upset at me, and we didn't talk for a while, and that had a lot of banter on the radio, and I had to talk about it. You know me, I'm not going to run away and hide from that. I'm going to talk about it. And one day, months later, he calls the radio show just on his own. We didn't ask him to come on. He calls the show. And he comes on and he says, hey, I'm calling your show because I want to apologize to you, right? And we had the most amazing talk live on the radio. And I said, you know, maybe I owe you an apology too. Maybe I went overboard, but that's how I am, my New York attitude. He goes, well, I'm from New York too, even though I'm Haitian. We went through the whole thing. And the word is respect. Like, I disagree. I have respect for people that have a different viewpoint of me. I don't respect name calling. I don't respect bringing family members into it. There's things that are out of bounds. If you disagree with me, I'm fine with that. I can respect you. My brother and I are in different spectrums politically. We can sit down for 8 hours and have the most amazing conversation and disagree with everything. And at the end, I still love him. He's still my brother. I can't tell you how many people I meet now that have disowned family members, have disowned lifelong friends because they have a different political viewpoint. How stupid is that? I don't understand that.
Listen, I have members of my family who are definitely have polar opposite political views than I do. I love them. They're my family, and we just agree to disagree on some things. And I will never get behind the idea, and I'm saddened by the idea of family members ending relationships over politics.
Unbelievable.
That's insane.
It's
insane. And I'll never understand that as long as I live.
All right, final thing for you, Marcos Breton of the Sacramento Bee. You voted in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Will we ever have Barry Bonds, Clemens, McGuire, the steroid era? Will those players ever be in the Hall?
Boy, I don't think so, because they've used up all their eligibility to be on the writers' ballot, so they won't be on my ballot anymore. And they didn't do that well on it's not called the Veterans Committee anymore. It's called something else. But you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
And they didn't do that well the last go around. So I think they might have one last shot coming up. And if they don't hit a certain threshold, I think that's going to be it. And I think that's sad. I do. I think it's sad. And some people disagree with me. Talk about disagreeing. I have friends who vehemently disagree with me that some of these guys should be in. To me, it's like the steroid era happened, and we shouldn't pretend that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But some people don't agree with that. But I don't know. If you did ask me right now, I would lean toward. I don't think Barry Bonds is going to make the Hall of Fame, and that's the all-time home run hitter. On the outside looking in is a pretty sad picture.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed this conversation. Let's do it again in the too distant future. It's great to have you back on my show, and you take care. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Anytime. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Great stuff from Marcos Breton, really. And great stuff is when you use a individual that is really good at what they do, like Village Financial Group, Spencer Grimmenstein. And a lot of people are doing home equity lines of credit right now. They're very happy with their low rates that they've acquired years ago. And a lot of people are taking equity out of their homes. Spence is an expert at that. He's an expert when it comes to selling your home, buying a home. He started his family-owned business locally in 2000. I've known him since then. He is great at what he does. And he's also a very creative financing specialist. All right, he really is. And he has access to private money. Give him a call or text him at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group. All right. And if you go to their website, vfgloans.com, you'll find thousands of listings available for you. Village Financial Group, kind of like a white glove boutique service. Spence will take you from the
start line to the finish line. Give them a call. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. More to come. Good segment with Marcos Breton right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Downtown Ford Sacramento welcomes you. With literally acres of new and Ford certified pre-owned vehicles on site, you can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. Downtown Ford Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrudes does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrudes, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrudes.com.
You served behind the desk. You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted. You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. And you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
That's a great segment with Marcos. In my opinion, I love conversations like that where you can talk about anything. Really, really awesome. All right. And he's been in this market for a long time. He really has. And, you know, we used to go at it. He used to write sports columns that I didn't agree with. And we got into it once over Bobby Jackson. And, you know, listen, I didn't make it personal. I would use my New York personality and maybe I went overboard with it. But like a lot of people don't understand like what I do on the radio. Part of it is like to stimulate my audience and to have a lot of people listening. It is my personality. It's not like I'm manufacturing stuff, but I can get very animated. And the one thing about Marcos, he would always come on my show when I asked him to. And I always respected him for that. He could have said, you know what, you've been really hard on me. I'm not coming on your show. But he would come on my show. And I have so much respect for people that can dish it out, and I dish it out, but you can take the heat. Marcos dishes it out, but he can take the heat. There are a lot of people that are too sensitive that, no, we're blackballing Grant Napear because he was too hard on me. Marcos is way above that. I'm way above that. Always have been. Let's get to Lynn. Lynn, you're on with Grant Napear. Go ahead.
Grant, that was a great segment with Marcus. I'm glad that he returned to your show. He was always great on the podcast and your other show. So it was great having you guys debate like you used to. You know, I had a chance last night, Grant, to watch the Spurs and Kings. But you know what? I had to go and watch the WBC because I knew what was going to happen with that Spurs-Kings game. If I want to watch the Spurs, I want to be able to watch them in a competitive game. But that WBC, you are 100% correct how good that was. And why can't Major League Baseball go back to that? I mean, that's just, they had it figured out. And I want to ask you, do you have Amazon Prime, Grant? for
Yes.
deliveries?
Yes.
Okay. You know how you and Ryan the other day was talking about trying to find the NBA because it's on everywhere. They're actually on Amazon Prime. And I'm just wondering, Grant, how much my Amazon Prime that my wife gets going to cost me in a couple years? Because they had a game, Hornets and Spurs, on Saturday, and it only had 475,000 viewers. It got beat by Bastis and Grant on Fox.
Wow.
So, I mean, how much is Amazon going to have to raise my free delivery to pay for this failure of having the NBA?
It's a great point. You know, it's a great point.
Because,
it's a great point.
yeah, and that's one area I get into sports really I like to look at is I'm a huge business guy, and I always look at the business side of sports, and I'm always looking at the different stuff like this, like Ryan does with his price picks. I'm always looking at the business side of sports because I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so interesting to see that number. I'm like, holy Toledo, that is just crazy. Well,
Very
Grant,
much so.
good show as always. Take
Thank
care,
you, bud.
and thank you for having me on.
Appreciate that. Bye-bye now. Yeah, I agreed with Ryan when he made that comment, I think last week or the week before. It's very difficult to know where the games are and to locate them and all the, especially if you're dealing with paywalls and you don't have this and you don't have that. I think we all need to get used to it. Ryan, you mentioned this, but I think it's not, we're not going back to the way it used to be. Those days are over.
Especially when it comes to your home broadcast that you get 82 times a year. I think that's going to end up being behind some type of wall where it's kind of a buffet thing through the NBA. You can choose one team and pay a certain price and get all of their games.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it better not be pay as you go because there would be nobody buying the Kings product right now.
It's a great point.
Few people.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I'm also turned off by what they've done with Inside the NBA on ESPN.
How so?
I just, it's not the same. They're not giving them the same time. It feels rushed. That should be the darn flagship anytime that the NBA is on ESPN. But instead, you get panels of Malika Edwards and
It's terrible.
the group that does 5 shows during the day on ESPN. Like,
terrible.
Let those guys take over. It's just rushed. They're not getting to do it the right way, and it comes across that way. And it's almost, to me, disrespectful to that group. Maybe it would have been better not to do the show at all.
Well, we'll never have what we had on TNT. That just will never exist. They had an open platform, and time was not of the essence. In other words, they could just do what they wanted as long as they wanted. And it was the best, I think, the best studio show, maybe in the history of sports television.
Definitely the best in my lifetime.
I would have to go back to the NFL Today show on CBS with Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, Phyllis George, and Jimmy the Greek. That was the beginning of those shows, and that will go down as maybe the greatest studio show in the history of sport because they were so ahead of their time. They had a woman and an African American on their set with a gambling expert. Okay, so think about that era, Ryan. Think about that era of having Brent Musburger with a gambling expert, okay, with a woman in sports broadcasting, which was Phyllis George was a pioneer, and Irv Cross, all right, an African American on set. So think about that. And they were great. They weren't good. They were great. And it was must-see TV. I don't know about you, and I mean this. I can't remember the last time I watched an NFL pregame show on any of the networks. I now will not turn the game on until it's kickoff. I don't watch any of the nonsense that's on the pregame shows anymore. It's gotten too much for me. I can't do it.
It's background noise for me. I'll have it on occasionally. I don't wait. It's not appointment viewing. I'm not turning it on at 9 a.m. to see them. I thought what you said about, or with Marcos, about being able to go out, have a 3-hour conversation, disagree, and walk away and say, that was good. That was good. That's what happened on the Inside the NBA so many times. Those guys would disagree, but at the end of the day, it was all love. And I appreciate that.
That's one of the beautiful things that I enjoyed about moving from here to Florida when I moved there in the fall of 2020 is nobody knew who I was. So there was no preconceived notions when somebody would meet me. Oh, I'm talking with the guy that's on the radio that yells at people and calls people morons, or is the Kings play-by-play announcer. So like we started from ground zero. And I probably had some of the most amazing conversations that I've ever had in my entire life with people that didn't look like me, didn't sound like me, weren't my generation. I'm talking about from the countries in South America, sitting with people from Colombia, Venezuela, right? Argentina. I'm talking about Brazilians, Cubans. I'm talking about African Americans. I'm talking about people of all ethnicities, religions, backgrounds. And we used to sit, and I am not exaggerating, for hours, having the most incredible conversations and learning so much about each other's cultures and backgrounds. One of the most enjoyable periods of time of my life. I loved it. It was great. Great. And to this day, some of those people that I didn't know, that I met through those type of roundtable discussions over a cocktail, a beer, a meal, what have you, are my best friends in life today.
Love it.
It's great. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
This weekend, Hot Wheels Monster Trucks is live at Cal Expo, but this Thursday, you can see the all-new Rhino line in person at Elk Grove Chevrolet. It's free to the public, plus win tickets and other official swag, too. Come see Rhino line this Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. at Elk Grove Chevrolet at the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
All right, Kings fans, quick timeout with your guy Rhino from the Grant Napear Show. Like me, if you're already watching every Rhino screen every month 3, you might as well make it more interesting with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports site in America, and it's simple. You pick 2 to 6 players and choose whether they'll go more or less on their stat line. That's it. No salary caps, no revolving lineups. Tonight, maybe it's DeMar DeRozan. Points, more. Maybe it's Dylan Cardwell. Rebounds, also more. Maybe you fade somebody on the other side, like me. Pro football, hoops, elite college action. The action never stops with Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code RHINO50 to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code RHINO, RYNO 50 to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Are you SAC Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country, and your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Summer is coming. Backyard parties, barbecues, good times with great people. Take your summer to the next level with an outdoor kitchen or fire pit from Custom Fireside. Custom Fireside has the largest inventory of outdoor kitchen options, fire pits, and fireplaces in the Sacramento area. If you missed us at Capitol Beer Fest, no problem. Now through the end of March, visit one of our 2 locations. Mention Beer Fest and you'll still get Beer Fest savings. Custom Fireside, employee owned and operated in Sacramento and Elk Grove.
There's a great American pastime that the entire family can enjoy together, located right outside of Sacramento. The Golden State Shooting Center welcomes you. The Golden State Shooting Center is an 80-acre clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous youth sport shooting teams from the region. Over 1,000 high school students from Northern California are on sports shooting teams, and 10 of the Western United States' top shooting teams train at Golden State Shooting Center. New members are being accepted now. For details, visit goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
I love the exercise classes at the Senior Center, and I love eating healthy, but it can be expensive. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to programs that help me pay for groceries. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
Final segment right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Say, Grant, you brought up R.E. Grasswich. What was your relationship with him? If I recall, he was a pretty opinionated guy. He was very opinionated. That was his job. He was the beat reporter for a number of years. He was a very intelligent guy, very smart. Always wore his Hawaiian shirts, so you could always spot him in a crowd. Had a very good sense of humor, was extremely flippant, and I never took him seriously, and I didn't really respect him because I didn't think his knowledge of the sport was very good. But he was very bright. He was very smart, and we used to have a lot of conversations. But I didn't respect his view on a lot of things. But he had a really successful career. I don't know what he's doing now. He was somebody that was disliked by many because he was very opinionated and was not afraid to be very coarse in his stories for the Sacramento Bee, which I did respect that part about him. But he, like, for instance, he didn't vote for Michael Jordan one year for the MVP. And he was the only one that didn't. And it was like, why didn't you do that? Well, I knew I was going to win. I was trying to give somebody else a chance to move up to get second or third. You know, it was stupid, like things like that. But Jerry had a great relationship with him, long relationship with him. He was around for a while, you know, and that was back when the Bee did put a lot of money into their sports department with various columnists and beat reporters. And as Marco said, you know, that they don't have a lot to work with now, right? You have Jason Anderson, who didn't even cover sports. He was on, what was the crime beat or something of that magnitude, and they transferred him to sports. It's so different now. It's totally different. So it's unfortunate, but that's a sign of the times. Everything's different. Look at how many people like myself do podcasts. And I did a podcast during my 5 years of being out of radio, and I'm still doing it. And by the way, I'll be on at 7 o'clock tonight on YouTube and X doing my open forum Wednesday. Like that, you didn't have the ability to work for yourself in this industry. You didn't have the ability, if you didn't have a job, to be on the air doing things or being on the internet, because there was no internet. There was no YouTube. There was no platform for you to do work like this. It didn't exist. Now, all right, now it's just like you can do anything at any time. All right? You can do anything. You can make money without having a boss. You can talk about anything on any subject. You can build up an audience on your own. There are a lot of options. A lot of options. Did I ever have any interactions with Pete Vesey? I did, but they were limited. Not a lot. I used to sit next to him at games sometimes when the games were on NBC, and I wasn't doing the game because it was NBC, and he'd be next to me on the scores table, and we would have some conversations. So I talked to him, not a lot. Not a lot. Again, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Don't forget, 7 o'clock tonight, all right, over on YouTube and X. We will be back tomorrow getting ready for the Kings and the Philadelphia 76ers. We will, again, have a post-game show right after that contest. And hopefully tomorrow, we're bragging once again about Ryan's prize picks. You feeling good about this tonight, buddy? I mean, your streak is so unbelievable. Tonight you're going with 6, right? You're going the distance tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight's going to be an interesting one.
We're at halftime. I'm feeling really good. We're only 3 assists from being right on this first game. And then from there, we've got just a couple more to go. So join me if you haven't already on Prize Picks. It is America's #1 daily fantasy site. Nothing too complicated. No revolving lineups, no salary caps. You just pick on player stat projections, 2 to 6 players. You can do 2 to 6, choose more or less on those projections, and that's it. Watch yourself compete with others. You can compete with different communities. And the cool thing is they now have early payouts. You can stack the same player, meaning you could pick more than on their assists and their 3-point shooting and their points, etc. And with March Madness kicking off tomorrow, it is a perfect time to hop on. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code RYNO50, RYNO50, to get $50 in free play after you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose that first $5 lineup, you get the $50 in free play. RYNO50, RYNO50. Prize Picks, good to be right.
Speaking about being right, Ryan, you have just put out on the Fox Sports X page that I've retweeted, and you have, for people that want to get involved with our bracket just for fun, with the NCAA tournament beginning in earnest tomorrow. So you can go check out on X, and you can get involved and have some fun with us.
It's going to be fun. Maybe I'll let you going to do your own, or are you going to throw darts at a wall?
No, I'll do my own in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
I don't give a lot of thought to it. I do them. I do it. You know what, Ryan? I do it only to have fun with people. I don't care about it. I just do it. I don't put any research into it. I don't put a lot of time into it. I just, throw, as you said, throw darts against the wall.
And that's usually how it works out. You've laid that out a few times.
I don't even look at my bracket normally after I do it. I don't even look at it. I know who my Final Four are, but I don't even really pay attention to it.
My coolest bracket story is I had San Diego State winning the national championship the year that they made it to the national championship.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that one. But
You're probably the only one that had them.
There weren't many. So somebody beat me because
Who'd they play that year in the finals?
UConn.
Oh.
Yeah. I still remember thinking, like, are they really in the final? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like OP said, wait, I can't wait to watch the Final Four. Wait, I'm in the Final Four.
Hey, I mean, I wonder how many people have said that while they were in their hotel room. Like, oh man, I can't wait to. Oh, wait a minute, I'm in it.
So true.
I used to wake up or get ready to do games, and I'd always have the news on. I would always have the local news on. And then they'd come and do the weather, and they'd be standing in front of the map of the United States, and I'd be like, where am I? Like, I'd be like, where am I in that map? I'm not kidding you. I'm like, where am I tonight? And there were times where you would like go, whoa. I always told you the story of standing on the floor with Jerry Reynolds at Madison Square Garden. We had a game that was postponed in New York that was made up at the beginning of a 7-game road trip. So we were supposed to open up the road trip in San Antonio, and all the travel for the whole trip had already been planned, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we fly to New York on a Saturday and from Sacramento, and I'm standing on the floor at Madison Square Garden right before the game starts. And I go, Jerry, I go, have you thought about this? I go, we are standing right now on the floor in New York. And tomorrow night, we're going to be sleeping in Orlando. But we have a game first here in New York against the Knicks. And then tomorrow against the Spurs. And he goes, what? I go, tomorrow night, we're sleeping in Orlando. But we're standing in New York, and we also have to play the Spurs before we get to Orlando. How about that?
Oh, my gosh.
So we played the Spurs the next night. So we flew. Listen to this, Ryan. We fly Sacramento to New York, spend the night in New York, play the Knicks on Sunday evening, fly to San Antonio after the game, 3.5 hours, play the Spurs on Monday night, and after the game, fly to Orlando to take on the Magic. How about that for you?
It's a whirlwind right there.
Yeah.
No other way to put it. What did a day off for, like, if you were in a random city and you didn't have to do the radio show and had the day off, what's that look like for you?
A lot depends what city I'm in and what the weather's like. That would be the two factors. If it was super cold, I wouldn't go out. If we had a day off and I was in a good city, I would always go out. I had my favorite restaurants. And so you get in a routine, and I pretty much didn't vary from my routine. I pretty much went to the same places every year.
That's right. The bartenders knew you.
It was great. You know, I used to love eating dinner at the bars and watching games and talking to the bartenders.
It's the best thing in the world, Grant. Eating dinner at a bar, like,
I love it.
You bring a magazine, you watch
Love it.
hands down the best with you.
It is the best. I used to love it. I was by myself, and I used to love it. I love talking. You know me. I love talking to people I don't know and striking up conversations.
Yeah.
And then you get to know these individuals, and you see them every year, and you talk about their families and their love for their sports and who they like and how has business been. Hey, what's it like? What's it been like with this? You know, I told you I was sitting at El Gaucho, the bar in Portland, and the Portland soccer team was getting ready to play Seattle in the playoffs. And I'm getting ready to do the Kings-Blazers game the next night. Oh, there's the Portland Timbers.
Yeah.
All right. Against the Seattle Sound, right?
Yep.
And
Sounders,
I'm sorry. And he was like, you can't get a ticket for the games. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you can't get a ticket. It's the toughest ticket in years here in this city. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He goes, you cannot get a ticket unless you have a lot of money. I'm like, it's that crazy? He goes, listen, it is unbelievable. And I was blown away at the MLS in Portland that ticket was the hardest ticket to get in years in that city.
It feels like the MLS was kind of peaking then, and it's just kind of, I don't want to say fizzled out, but there's not as much attention on it.
Somebody said gentlemen's clubs. Yeah, I used to go to gentlemen's clubs. I've been very open about that. We used to go because a lot of times they were the only place to get good food after a game because everything else was closed, and they had all the games on. And so, yeah, we did used to go there. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't go to like have lap dances, and I just went to eat good food. Yeah, the scenery was good, but I didn't spend money on women as a married man. And plus, I'm not into that anyway. I went to eat the food, and I'm not kidding you. The food was normally great at a lot of these gentlemen clubs, like in a lot of cities, and they always had the late games on. So, yeah, I did. Absolutely. Not a lot, occasionally.
But you
I got nothing to hide.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
no.
I'm with you, man.
No. There's nothing wrong with joining me in about 65 minutes from now either over on YouTube and X. Looking forward to that. An open forum show. Won't go that long tonight, but we can talk about a couple of the topics. Talk about the Spurs last night, the WBC in the books, going to Venezuela, which was an incredible spectacle. Had a lot of fun talking about that with Marcos Breton. Holden Polynice was on at 4 o'clock today. He had some phenomenal stories talking about playing with Jerry Sloan or for Jerry Sloan, playing with John Stockton and Karl Malone, and reminiscing about some of the great fans around the NBA. And he's got 4 brackets that he filled out. He's got Arizona, I think, in 3 of them, and he's got Virginia's alma mater in the other. I have loyalty. I'm all about that. Now, I will tell you, Bowling Green's not in the tournament. But if they were, I would not pick them. No. I wouldn't do that. You know, they don't have Nate Thurman anymore. All right. I would not be picking the Bowling Green State University Falcons if they were in the field of 64 in my bracket to go all the way. No, would not do that. But I have not yet done my bracket, but I'm going to do that this evening right after I get off my podcast and my open forum Wednesday. Again, you can check it out at Fox Sports SAC or at Grant Napear Show. You can go to Ryan's Twitter handle, the X handle, and you can fill out the bracket. We'll have a lot of fun with that. Hey, really interesting show today. I've enjoyed the conversations with you, with my guests. So we're going to wrap it up. We're done. 3 hours in the books. Hour number 1 will be replayed momentarily right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. My thanks today to Olden Polonese, Marcus Breton of the Sacramento Bee, for Ryan and Sacktown. This is Grant Napear saying so long and thanks for listening to Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye now.
This is Kurt Bagelman. Does your business need more customers? If you said no, congratulations.